Okay.
Wow, that's a unique start.
Well, it was so silent over there. I heard nothing. I thought maybe I couldn't hear you, or you couldn't hear me, or something. There was nothing. Wow. Well, all right, everyone. Shit.
Brandon's not here. We're off our A game. What the hell's going on? We're off our B game.
Exactly. We're off our B game on our DS show. How's that?
What a diss. Not for the DS show. I'm going to use the term diss. He was here for the BS show. He was here for the CS show.
Of course.
But a no-show for the DS show.
Yeah.
Can I say show more in like the span of
show
40 seconds?
Chosen. Yes.
It's all part of the show.
Let's all go to the show. The show.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So this is 162. B had called in
163.
Or 3.
I'm almost, yeah.
You're probably right. I have it written down right in front of me.
163.
163. So, yeah, B is sick. He, I don't know. I think the shot fucked him up. And
nerve damage.
Yeah, he's done.
I'm sorry.
Poor bastard.
But he got the booster, and he's not feeling top notch. Top notch. He's just not that. It's gonna be a callback show. That's all we're gonna do.
Imagine that. If we could do that the whole time, just call back, and we had that type of memory.
In which case, this is an open audition for Brandon's spot. Whoever wants to join us throughout, you're welcome to join us throughout. It's not a live show, so I'm kind of putting this to the masses of the podcasters that got a message earlier from Dave. We just did it quickly because we were going to just do it the two of us, but we've wanted to have Jason Smith on this show for at least a year, at least. But he's in like Arizona or some fucking desert, and like the timing just doesn't work. It's like 7 a.m. where he lives. So who knows? But there may be a surprise guest. It might just be us, and you're just gonna have to live with it.
Yeah, that's the way it is, folks. It's our anniversary too, and B's not even here.
Aww.
I know.
It's like my wedding anniversary.
One person.
Yeah, I celebrate by myself now. Yeah, here's to me. I give myself a hand job. It's perfect. It ends beautifully every year.
How many years you been married now? Let me think.
It will be 20 in May.
20.
Oh, sorry. 20.
I was going to guess 18.
20 blissful years in May. No, we're good. It's all, I make jokes, but it's been great. I can't believe 20 years has gone by though. That's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
20 years.
20. Well, what trips me out is that like things that seem like 20 years ago were actually like 30 years ago. That's the one thing that I've noticed that's happened to me. Like when I watch something, like I watched this wrestling thing from 1995 last night, just put it in, and as I'm watching it, it feels like 20 years ago. It doesn't feel like fucking, almost 30. It seems closer to like the way 2005 you think would feel or something. And it's hard to explain. There's just like that 10-year thing. It just feels like it's not that far gone. But when you think about it, just like my high school, we just had our 30th, thing, a reunion. They had it over the summer. And I was like, wow, 30. It doesn't feel like 30.
I never understood like high school reunions. It doesn't interest me. You know what I would like to do? I'd like to be the person that goes to a high school reunion and shoots it up. I'm kidding. Maybe I should take that back because this might go to like the FBI or something like that. They'll like investigate me and think that I'm like some kook. I'm kidding, everybody. I'm kidding.
Everything's a joke, man, and that's okay.
I bring a grenade. Guns for me.
There is an appeal. There's an appeal, I think, to going to those things. Like I didn't go because of COVID. I told Heather and Scott the other day in message. I said, and this is the truth. I am not until COVID is no longer around, or my parents both pass away, whichever comes first. COVID or any of its strains. Well, couldn't hear why though? Well, hold up.
Sorry.
Hold on now. This is for good reason, at least from where I sit. Tell me if
all right.
Again, I go directly to the source. I don't watch the news, so I don't know what people hear and what they say and what the current climate may be. All I know is that I the thing is this, and there's the strains and everything else. I'm not going to go anywhere because whether I have the shot or not, and I think this is the problem, whether I have it or not, I'm still a carrier. I can still carry it. So for me to go somewhere and carry something to my parents, who, yes, they have the shot as well, but it doesn't matter. They're elderly. They're 83 and 73. They're old enough that why should I go somewhere and be a carrier and bring it to them? I think it's a selfish act by me, and I don't really need to go anywhere. I mean, the fish thing was a thing that I had to do, and it was a crazy couple years. I got to see my buddies, but honestly, that would be the only thing I would ever do. Like in Erie County.
And also, the timing was good for that because it kind of felt like things were starting to get back to normal, and then fucking Omicron or whatever the fuck they want to call it, whatever. And all of a sudden now everybody's scared shitless again, in a sense. I mean, like I'm talking hyperbole, but I mean ultimately. I think people are getting a little freaked out. So I mean, I get why you went to fish. I also get why you don't want a bed bug. That's why you don't want to go see your dad.
He might be calling again, by the way. Oh, I got a great story about him. Damn it, I have a recording. I recorded a conversation with him the other day. Man, I wish he was here because he would love it. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. But that's the thing. I don't want to carry anything to anybody. I would feel irresponsible because from where I sit, people on both sides of the fence got things like messed up. Like look at like in Erie County where I'm at. You know, well I'm actually in Niagara. Whatever, it's my neighbor here, you know. But in Erie County, the rates the last couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, have been the highest they've been since COVID began. So all this is going on, and I started thinking. I go, well, here's what I think happened. Here's one of the contributing factors here. This year they let people go to the football games, the Bills games, 60,000 people.
Open here too. Like all of a sudden everybody's at basketball games or hockey games again. It's like, yeah, I think I think I know where you're going, but I'm cutting you off. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think you do know where I'm going. The thing is this, I think that people that have been vaxxed, it doesn't mean that you can go anywhere and do whatever you want and yell and scream and get drunk and be on top of each other. And that's where the half of the problem is that a lot of people that have been vaccinated think they have a get out of jail free card now and they could just go, well, I got the shot, everything's fine. Not realizing that they could, carry it. Oh, yeah, I have a message here. Hold on a second here. Live message here. Hold on. We may have our first guest. Hold on.
Well, let me vet it first. Let me make sure it's eligible to be airworthy.
Yeah, well, if it does have it, it's gonna.
It's dead airworthy, evidently.
So sorry. No, it's everything's. Oh, hold on. Let's see. It's a BS show. Well, it's a DS show. Which, by the way, that takes me back to that. I have to play that thing.
We're all over the place.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
I know what you mean, though. I think it's the stadiums. Everybody thinks they're invincible again, and now we're not quite as, but we're as high back to May numbers, which is shitty. Again, the difference being people have been double vaxxed and getting boosters now and everything else. So hopefully that offsets it. At least they're learning a little bit more about this new variant that it sounds like, from what we know now anyway, that the vaccinations will still help and the boosters will still help. And it's way more contagious, but it seems to be maybe a little bit milder in comparison, depending on your immune system, of course. And everything else, right? That's the crazy thing about this. Some person get a little rash, and some wacky toes, and then other people can die from it. So I mean, who knows what the fuck's going on with this fucking thing?
Now, who does know? But in the meantime, I'm gonna act like I've been acting the whole time. And if crazy? I go somewhere, well, that too, for sure. But I'm gonna wear a mask. I'm not gonna go anywhere. Yeah, and I don't want to go anywhere. And if I do go anywhere, I'm going to have a mask on. And again, this has nothing to do with if I have the shot or if I don't. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Like the Bills game, for example. If you have been vaccinated, or whatever word you want to use, if you've been given the shot, you can come to the Bills game. If not, you can't. Okay, say what you want. Whatever. It is what it is. That's a debated thing. So be. But the thing is this. People go into this Bills game. All they want is that piece of paper. And it was so bad when I was at the fish show. That's another story. I don't know if I told you guys how poorly mismanaged it was at this MGM Gardens. But All you have to do is show them your freaking thing, that little card that says you got vaccinated, and you can go in. Now, they have been telling us for how long that it's a 6 to 8 month window, and that's why they want boosters. Okay, so they're not asking about boosters. They're not looking at the dates. Somebody could have been vaccinated fucking 10 months ago. So by that logic, it's almost like they're not vaccinated. They haven't been given a shot at this point because it's worn off. So you're just letting anybody in that could be carrying, and they could be carrying even with the shot. That's what I think is the scary thing, is that everyone's carrying. Things should not be opened. This is just my opinion. Everything should be.
And unfortunately, because we've gone guns a-blazing, I think things are going to close down again or be limited again. Maybe not in the States. I don't know. Maybe not even in Canada. I don't know, because if we're talking about, like, sports fanatics who love to go, I can watch it on TV. I have no problem with that. But it's crazy because, I mean, everything was opened up. Everybody wanted to get back to normalcy. And unfortunately, we're just not quite there yet. But I went traveling. So I went traveling for work. First time since February 2020 from a flight standpoint and hotels and everything. And other than when we drove over to the States, but that was different. We drove and whatever, but this was flying. I went for work, but the point of the story is, and again, to kind of, I'll kind of talking about what we were just talking about. We were packed in the airplane, of course, like sardines. Of course, everybody's wearing a mask. You can bring it down to have a drink or eat, whatever, for 2 seconds, and we're there's no social distancing. They're like, make sure you're wearing your mask when the stewardess is coming by. I'm like, the stewardess is like inches from me.
I know.
What difference does it make? We're all packed into this thing like a tube. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. And they could circulate that air all day. I think that was worse. But anyway, besides that, I'm just saying that didn't feel great. But the point of where I'm going is, I went, and I think I texted you guys this. I went to Sydney, Nova Scotia for the first stop, and 20 minutes away was a place called Sydney Mines. And that's where My Bloody Valentine was shot, for the most part. And I've always wanted to go because it's one of my favorite slashers and everything else. So I was able to go. It was a little anticlimactic because I was able to spend like 20, 30 minutes there, and I had to zoom back to make sure that we kept on schedule with everything else. I thought we'd be able to see I'd be able to see the mine or something like that. I don't know what, even if they're closed down, I think they've kept them like sort of preserved, but no can do. And I don't actually think they offer tours of it. When I saw a sign saying tours of Sydney Mines, I'm like, holy shit, that'd be awesome. Then I realized they meant tours of the city or the town, Sydney Mines. And this is a small town. You got to realize that I can walk to the other side of my unfinished basement here, and I'm pretty much on the other side of town. But it was cool. Right. I could say that I was there. Now, the funniest part of this is, I'm like, who do I bring up My Bloody Valentine at a dinner with clients and whatever else? I said, I got to bring it up. They know I'm a film fan. And I think some of them knew I was a horror fanatic as well. So I brought it up. I said, I just realized, I couldn't believe it. Like, one of my favorite slasher movies was filmed nearby. I said, they went Bloody Valentine. Yeah, the director lives in town here still. They all do. They knew the movie. He lives in town. I'm like, can we invite him out for the dinner? I was like, this is awesome. Like, they didn't know him exactly where he was, but he lives supposedly still now in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Wow.
So I thought that was really cool. So that was like a nice little cap to the anticlimactic visit that I had in Sydney Mines, the town. But the fact that everybody, and this is was people about 10 years older than me to 20 years older than me, knew exactly what film and so it's obviously got a place in their heart in that area. No pun intended.
Wow, no, that's cool. I'm glad that enough people know about it too. That, you know what I mean? That it's part of what they know. Maybe some people come in from time to time asking questions and stuff. It's not like Friday the 13th where there's a bunch of different places you could go. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just here in the mine. And now you said they kept it presered. Did they keep it preserved because of the movie?
I was thinking, no, I don't think because of the movie. I think it's just because it's part of history, but I don't quote me on that. I thought that was what was in my mind, thinking I was going to be able to see this, thinking that it was preserved, like in the sense of like where they used to do the mining and whatnot. And when I saw the sign, I specifically thought they meant tours of the mines. But I'm like, how do they do that? Because wouldn't that be dangerous? But I thought, they would take you to the, where you enter, and you might be able to go in, and they might just have like something set up like from a visitation standpoint. But supposedly no, they didn't. Like that's what the girls at the dinner mentioned afterwards. They said no, you can't go into the mines. Then I realized how much of an idiot I was that they were talking about tours of the actual town.
Wow.
Sydney Mines, because that's the name of the town. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, that was it. But again, the tie-in was not just to be able to tell that cool story. In my opinion, it's cool. You cool. Weigh in, listeners. Sydney. But that I did feel, admittedly, as we were about to leave for the trip, which is Sunday night, of course, Friday was the announcement of the new variant and everything else. And of course, it gets your mind reeling. Then I'm on the plane. Airport was fine. It was like business as usual. You wouldn't even, other than wearing a mask, you wouldn't even know anything was different, timing-wise or anything else. It was smooth sailing like that. You get on the plane and you realize that's weird because it feels like business as usual as well, but we're all wearing masks. The second you start hearing people cough or sneeze or whatever, you're like, oh, fuck. Like, you can't help it. You're just like, that's what's embedded in me now. And, and then we flew somewhere else. And so it was just, from a comfort standpoint, I wouldn't say it was close to 100% yet. It was definitely feeling a little like, oh, this feels a little odd. But, I've been home a couple of days now. Everything seems to be okay. We'll see what happens.
That's good. I think that whole thing has just been mismanaged by governments, period. And the reason is because at the end of the day, everything is a business and it's all about money. That's all any government cares about. I mean, there's money to be made here. It's all, and I'm not saying that it's made up because I believe in it, obviously. I'm not that, like I'm saying, I'm not extreme in any type of crazy thing, but I'm just like, there's money to be made and they can only let it happen for so long. And that's why when it first happened, I 100% believed in it. Like when people are saying, oh, this and this, I go, listen to me. Millionaires are losing money. Billionaires are losing money by not having these sports things open and not having this happen and not having all the stuff they own. They don't have any consumers right now. If this wasn't real, they wouldn't do that because the rich would never allow the other rich to have any danger of losing money. Unless it was really a safety concern. That's what I've been saying the whole time. But now I see how it's mismanaged, in my opinion, that, just like at my job, it's the same damn thing. Like my daughter had a COVID scare last week and she had her throat was hurting for a couple days and she went in and I took her out of school in the middle of it was like 9:30 in the morning. Long story. We took her out. We said, try to go to school. How do you feel? Do you think it's this? If you have any problem, let us know. We're going to take you out. So we did. We got them out. And sorry, these messages keep coming in.
No problem.
So she got the test. We took her out of school. My wife brought her in, and she had like problems with the throat. There was pus in there. This and that little thing. So they go, well, we're gonna take a test, and if we get back to you in the next 2 hours, then she has strep. And if not, then you're going to take the COVID test anyway. You'll find out tomorrow. So now I do the right thing and I tell my work about this because I think you should if someone you're living. Right?
And they want you to isolate now too, right?
No, they don't want me to isolate and didn't give a fuck. That's the problem. It's mismanaged. All they did was tell me, they said, well, wear a mask at work. They go, the first thing they asked me is if I've had the shot. And I said, yes, but it was back in March. They don't give a fuck when you got it. Like with the Bills game, they don't give a science is telling us that you have to get a booster to be vaccinated still or whatever for it to work. So anyway, I said, yes, but it was here. So they said, well, put a mask on and stay 6 feet away from everybody. I said, fine. But I mean, when COVID first began, when we first started having people isolate, this is what was happening. If somebody in your house even went for a test, they would say, well, now you have to stay home and you can't come back until you get a test and show us the results. Now, my company, just like the rest of the world, doesn't give a shit. They're like, oh, well, this is what it is because they don't want, before maybe they got sick of paying people for not coming to work. And I understand that. But I mean, to me, I took.
My company takes it seriously. Like that's one thing. Like I mean, they do take it seriously. I mean, I don't have to go into an office even just because I'm an outside rep. So I really didn't have to go in before. But like right now, it's very skeleton crew-ish. Like, So, but hey, exactly. All these shows, but it's like only they sort of rotate who's in there. Everybody else has been set up to be virtual at home, whatever it may be. And when we go into the renovated facility in the new year, it's still going to be monitored. Again, assuming we don't know what to expect, because when now there's this new variant, we're going to get day by day updates that will dictate what's going to be happening in the next little while. But right now, we haven't travel's just sort of starting to come back into play based on comfort level, and I felt comfortable going out. And I'm not saying, I just said when I was on the plane, I'm like, oh fuck, but I still will go back out. If I had to go back out next week or something like that, I'd do it because I know now what's expected. But I'm just saying I wouldn't say that it was, because I don't trust other people in the sense of I don't know if they've faked it or if they're against it or whatever, and they've got the documentation to allow them. But I think if you fly, you have to have it. So the shots and whatever. But again, it doesn't mean you can't be a carrier. I can't be a carrier, whatever.
Right.
There's still that aspect of it that remains very, very, I guess, dangerous in the big picture. Just seeing what that could, mean and actually keep this going. But anyway, let's get off this. It's fucking
crazy. I agree. Let's get on. Let's get off. There is one thing I wanted to say related to that because I was going to bring it up anyway, but this is more.
Oh, sorry.
It's not funny, but it ties back to something else we said. Okay, we were talking. Remember before I was saying that I was listening to the radio show I listened to in the morning, and somebody was saying something about you can get over the border to Canada if you have COVID or something like that, and we didn't know what it was, but if you take the test, you can't. Remember we were having okay.
Yeah.
Guy, okay, it's been straightened out. The guy said it the other day, and now I heard it. If you have had COVID in the past, you can get over the border in Canada without having to pay for the test, because apparently Canada doesn't believe someone can get it twice. So
except for now with the new variant is saying that you can get reinfected. So I don't know if that's our belief or not. I just knew
right.
that was the talk track based on what I was reading, being stuck on a plane about the new variant. So that you can get infected again.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I can only control what I'm doing.
Right, but that's what it is. I knew it sounded. I knew I didn't imagine it, and they weren't talking about it like it was a joke. I just misunderstood. But then the guy just said, he goes, "Yeah, if you've had COVID, you can get over and not have to pay for the test." That's what he said. Because this guy did have it, so I'm pretty sure he's speaking from experience. Because why would he? This is the second time he's mentioned it on the show. So and no one's laughing as he's doing it. It's not like a gag.
Yeah, very weird.
So
I obviously it's happened to him, but that seems weird to me, but. Because they were so anal about us taking a test in the fucking States and paying top dollar for it to get back into Canada and then having to take another one when we got back in Canada. And we're Canadian fucking citizens. And we're all double vaxxed that went. So
Mama mia.
That just pisses me off more than anything.
But anyway, of course it does. It's more money making shit. You know what it is, like anything.
Yeah, but not for Canadian government. I can understand they make us take it in Canada. They made us, so we just threw money to the States. You're welcome, you fucks.
Well, I hear you, but that's because see, there you go, U.S. We're letting you.
Maybe they get a kickback. Maybe Canada gets a $20 kickback for doing that. Who knows?
Well, you see, of course, United States, as usual, their government's worried about the money over everything. So now they're saying, yeah, Canadians can come here, but the Canadian government's saying, no, you can't come here. So as usual,
actually. In fact, a bunch of Canadians are there right now. We just said, fuck no, we're not going. So there's a bunch of the dance crew that is at our studio, other than literally my family and maybe two other families from that studio decided not to go. They're all in Buffalo right now at the convention center or whatever it is, downtown Buffalo, where it turns into like a fucking zombie town and nobody's around. Because the last time I went, which was before COVID, we went and we drove in and there was nobody downtown on the weekend. Nobody. You could walk to the subway, and the subway shop would be open, and you saw nobody as you walked over there. It was weird.
Wow,
but anyway,
they're
here now for some dance thing. We said, fuck that. We don't want to, because we thought everybody was going to get dinged to come back with that $100 to $200 fucking test that you had to take. But they scrapped that about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So now you don't need it as of right now. But anyway, like I said, we said we're going to get off it. But maybe if we went, we could have recorded this in person, Dave. That's the only. That would have been the only positive out of it.
Would that have been something? Then we get to see here and yeah. And that poor Brandon would miss
each other off.
Right.
Again, well, he's not here anyway. He's missing out now. All this enlightening conversation.
But he'd really miss out because then he'd feel real bad. We'd be sitting in the same room, and it's a show he can't make. He can't be part of it at all. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you did say a few things on the last show because I just listened to it, and one of the things you said was that on the show prior, I was telling you guys this and this. I could sit here all day and blah blah, and don't rush. And then all of a sudden at the end of the show, I was running off. Well, I have it right here at the 1 hour and 29-minute mark. I said I can sit here until 1. I said it again later on. I never said all day. I said I have until 1, and precisely that's when I got off. So there.
That's okay. True. I'll take it. It's yeah.
I listened, and you said, listeners, let us know. Well, they're not going to let you know. But I'm letting you know. Okay, I listened yesterday. I was walking the dog and this and that. I got to catch up on the show a little bit, and I did. And I go, there you go. And then, and earlier in the show.
All right.
You said Mr. C instead of Mr. T, and we pointed out, and you said I didn't say Mr. C.
Yeah.
But I listened.
I noticed that shit when I was editing. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. I love it.
There was something else too. You're like, who? I think it was that. That must have been it.
No, there was another thing.
I'm like, we'll see. There was something else that he said. I'm like, I probably said it. I even agree. Yeah.
It was some mispronunciation. It's okay. It's okay. So, yeah, officially now, this is the DS show, and the reason I'm gonna I gotta put it on. I gotta put on dog shit. Just that part because this is what we're doing here. Hold on. Just that part though. Hold on now.
Yes, I'm coming in.
Hold on.
I'm not. She likes that shit. What's your name? John. Your name's John? You Spanish? No. What are you, black? No. What are you? Because my wife likes that dog shit. I'm not a dog man. No, dog. Not dog, dog. She likes that dog stuff, you know?
To me, now, I've loved that for years. I'm not dog shit. But what's really makes it funny to me these days is that he doesn't say I'm not dog shit. He says I'm not a dog shit. I'm not a dog shit. He says. I think that's amazing. I'm not a dog shit.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, the guy says dark shit. You know, the dark-skinned people. Yeah. My wife likes that dark shit. And he's like, I'm not a dog shit.
Oh, he says dark shit.
Didn't you hear it?
He says dog shit, or does he say dog shit?
No. The guy asks him hold on. He tells him my wife likes the dark shit. Hold on a second. Hold up.
Black? What are you? Because my wife likes that dog shit. I'm not a dog man. No, dog. Not dog, dog. She likes that dog stuff. You know, like Spanish and black. She likes that shit.
See? She likes that dark shit. I'm not a dog shit.
It almost sounds like Kamal from it, like a little bit, but then I know I've heard those tapes, and that's that third guy that we've talked about.
But you still can't get that. This is still unreleased. It was never released on any. It's not a Musacha tape. It's none of those things.
Oh, it's not on that one. Okay.
No, this one was
Kamal
on the cassette. This was the first time I heard the Jerky Boys. I remember where I was. I was at Brockport. Was it Brockport? No. It was Ithaca College in New York. I was 19 years old, visiting my friends in college, and this tape was passed around the college. It was a cassette, you know. We're talking like 1992, you know. And this was passed, and we listened to it, you know. And it was probably like most of the stuff you hear on Jerky Boys.
Yeah, the Egyptian magician. But I was crying. I remember I can picture where I was. I remember tears. Like I was like crying. I was like, this is ingenious. And my dad was like, couldn't understand. He chuckled, but he just couldn't understand why I thought this was so funny. He thought it was such a cheap gimmick to get for laughs. And I thought it was great. Although I remember him laughing about like the poker sealing him up for good, the hot poker.
Oh boy. Like, yeah.
What are you going there with, like a hot poker? He goes, oh, that might seal me up for good. She goes, I guess so. Oh, we can't have that.
It's great.
We can't have that.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad laughing at that. But that was it. He was not impressed with anything else.
There's so many little nuances in there that you pick up on the more you listen to it as well. It's just like, but this one here, the X-rated hotel, you know, it was never released anywhere. It was only on that cassette tape. So I've been looking, and I looked for the longest time, And then it showed up eventually on YouTube. And you Google it, or you put it in there and searching and Jerky Boys and Hotel Clerk and I put all this, and finally it started resurfacing. Somebody took the old tapes and put into other ones, but it was never released anywhere. So listen to this guy. Listen to this. This is a jerk.
Oh, how are you? Yes.
This is your trail tag. That's your reason I'm calling.
Internet.
Selected. I'm sorry,
Internet.
For the reason.
I don't have any nets here. Are you? Who are you? My name is Saul. Hello?
Okay, I know what you're thinking. What? Tell me what you're thinking.
It sounds like a knockoff of Saul.
Thank you. It is a knockoff of Saul. Now, yeah, it's called Saul. It says Saul Rosenberg gets a call from ADT. So I'm looking in the comments, and someone says, "This is the most convincing impersonation of Saul Rosenberg I've ever heard. The fact that this isn't Johnny Brennan is really impressive." And I'm thinking, I think I could do a better Saul Rosenberg than that. That's just Saul Rosenberg. Oh no! Don't you think that sounds better than fucking that guy?
I do. You could do voices as I do think it's better. It sounded like a really bad knockoff of Saul.
Yes, and people are loving it. He's got how many views? Hold on. This is the stuff I look at that eats me up. Hold on. 84,000 views off of that knockoff freaking thing.
Listen to me. This is the weirdest thing. I know we've talked about these guys on recent shows in the past. It's almost become a running theme. But I never watched the show Crank Yankers, which seems like it would be right up my alley, considering it was crank phone calls with puppets, for fuck's sake. And I never watched it. But it's on Crave, which is a streaming service up here. And guess what I watched last night? 2 episodes of Crank Yankers. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. And one of the Touchstone Terrace ones was in that thing. Well, because they do other things. It's because it's the puppets too, and they do like visual things beyond the call. That's actually quite funny, but that's not appropriate for kids whatsoever. Like I thought, oh, I'll get my son to watch it with me. Thank God I didn't. Like it's not for kids, but man, oh man, is it funny? And I can't wait to watch. They don't have the whole series on. They've only cherry picked like certain episodes. I don't know if they didn't get the rights for some or whatever it may be, but someone's coming in.
No, I got hello?
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah, hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Is that Brandon?
Is Francesca there or is she over your mother's?
No, she's sleeping.
Oh, okay, I'll stop over. I got some money. I'll stop over around about 1 and spend a few minutes and I'll go. How's that?
Okay, how you feeling? Everything okay over there?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine, yeah. You're
feeling good? No issues? No bed bugs? Nothing?
Nothing. I'm fine and dandy, believe me.
Oh, well, it's about time. It's about time you had no issues with collapsing or bed bugs or any other controversy.
The bed bugs are somewhere else. I was just concerned. I don't want to bring them in your house. Maybe they crawled under the door. I have no idea. But I never seen them, you know?
No, they're too small.
Yeah, I'll be there around.
Did you see a doctor?
1 o'clock, quarter to 1. Spend a little time with her. And I got to be in Grand Island at 2:30, so.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to give her a little capital, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's good. Yeah.
All right.
We'll be here.
I'll talk to you later. I'll be there. A
little capital, too.
1 o'clock when you're done.
Yeah.
When you're done with your podcast, what, about 1 o'clock?
Well, no, I finish at like noonish, and then I get the pizza, and then I run around, and then I'm back at 1 for the show, for the football, you know.
Well, who's gonna eat the pizza? Just you and Mike?
Yeah, I'll just go get a couple of slices this time.
Okay, I'll be there around quarter to 1. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like how we said podcast.
Okay. All right,
Dave. See you then.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye. Nothing too funny that time.
Whenever you're done with that podcast, you're like kicking it to the curb.
Yeah, right.
I'm joking. Yeah.
Oh, Jamie wanted me to ask you if you watched the Texas Chainsaw trailer.
Yeah. I was going to talk about this. So, Chris A.K. Scott, Jason Smith texted me, like, I guess not the second it dropped, but then it came out and said, here, it's available now. It looks great.
Yeah.
Great lighting, coming to Netflix. It's a teaser. So the cool thing about it is you don't show too much. But again, if you don't want to see anything, then don't don't watch anything, but it's literally like, it started in 1974, it returns now type thing with a couple of cool shots. And so I'm very happy with the way the cinematography looks, because that's key. And I feel like that's on point so far. I'm on board. I mean, they don't show too much to not make anybody that's a fan of the series not want to watch it, because it's, like I said, more of a teaser. So that's a longer answer, but yes, I watched it, and it looks great.
Wow. For the first time, I realized how unplugged from the world I am, because I had no idea it came out. In the past, I never would have not known that a trailer had come out. Even if I don't watch them, I still would have knowledge that it came out. So I'm kind of happy.
I saw some things I'm not been on Facebook. I'm on it. I'm definitely on it more than you, since I've got to invite people now to the Patreon page and everything else. But I'm just saying that I'm not really like glued to it. Like, I don't know if I ever was glued to it, but I'm off it much less than I am on now or in the past. I'm not explaining this well at all, but I'm like one step away from what you're doing, I guess, is where I'm going with it.
Nice.
Ultimately, I'm trying to be in our pages, and that's really it. And on Messenger, that's really it. But I noticed something dropped. It did pop up in the feed, and I forgot because I was doing some other things. It's been kind of a crazy weekend, and then they reminded me, so I checked it out last night, and it was great.
Nice. Now, when's it coming out? Is there a release date?
February 18th.
What
I think was the date. February 18th or 19th.
Why don't they tell us anything about this Hellraiser? That's what makes me mad. We've been hearing about this Hellraiser. This has happened. This person's cast. This and that. They refuse to tell us when this movie's going to come out, this Hellraiser movie. But everything Texas Chainsaw, it seems like they announced it was coming out, and 2 months later there's a trailer, and now the movie's here. So it seems.
Well, remember, it felt like this was supposed to be released a year ago or longer. It felt like it was like Terrifier too. We know it feels like we've known it's been done, but it hasn't been released. But now with COVID and everything like that, I'm happy it's coming to, like, well, now we've been living with this for almost 2 years, but I'm happy they just made the decision to go to Netflix. Distribution for everybody.
That's
so good. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and once again,
if it was at the theater, so be it, but I'm fine with it going right to Netflix.
And once again, so far what I've said has come to pass. I said all this stuff with theater shutting down, I said two things. One, that VOD and theater viewing could live together simultaneously without a problem. It's not going to be the end of the world. Everybody was up in arms. This is going to happen. And I said, I think we're going to be fine. There's going to be a choice. And then people are like, oh, there's not going to be budgets, this and that, the other thing, money. It's not going to. I said, mark my words, 2 years from now, we're going to be doing a year-end show. And we're not going to sit here noticing how poor the movies are looking and sounding. Everything's going to be the same. You know why? Because they're still going to film movies. It's another thing. Nobody cares about COVID. It's money.
We are starved for entertainment, so we want these sports. We want sports. Well, I don't actually really care, to be totally honest.
It's fair.
I don't, right. But I watch what I watch and whatever. But movies is just another thing. Like the sports fanatics that don't care about movies will be like, just give me my sports. I don't care about movies. I'm not saying I don't care about sports, but if I had to choose, see you later, sports.
Of course.
See ya fucking later. And they would be all it would just be movies. But we as a nation are starved for entertainment. Maybe it shifts. Like, we know now that the indies can make movies for next to nothing and make them look pretty damn good. If you got some sort of talent, or surround yourself with talent, you can make your indie look good. So there's that aspect of it. So I think content will be driven that way. But then you've got the major studios that have distribution outlets. Like, one way or the other, they've now have a massive distribution outlet through Netflix and Prime anyway.
Yes.
And then theaters are going to exist. You might just get more shutdowns. I heard theaters were shut down before COVID. COVID just was the last nail in the coffin for ones in areas. I don't understand. I've got like I think I've told you, like 4 or 5 that I can cherry pick from like, on a 20-kilometer radius or whatever,
right.
12-mile radius.
Whatever.
And ultimately, but some of them are like just 10 minutes on the street there, 10 minutes on the street there. maybe we won't need both of them. Maybe one of them will shut down. Maybe, I don't know. And it'll just be spread out like anything. It expanded too much. Like the fact that we have this many movie theaters. When I was a kid, I remember we had 2 theaters and both of them had like 2 screens. I think one of them had 1 screen, the other one had 2. And when I was 12 is when we got the first multiplex where the screens were slightly smaller, albeit or very small comparatively, but you had like 8 theaters in that theater. And I think then what happened was in the late 90s, they took that model and they kind of went back old school and said, no, we're going to make them bigger and better. And then we got the super theaters with the big screens, but that had like 20, kind of like the AMC model, 24 screens or whatever like that. Maybe we don't need that anymore. Maybe it will be trimmed down. That's it.
We'll be fine. But movies are still being made. I even said it in 2020. I remember talking on one of the shows and we were saying, well, it's really going to be interesting to see what happens in 2021 because all the movies that are normally filming now maybe aren't being filmed. So are we going to have enough content? Lo and behold, we still have plenty of content. You know why? Because there's money to be made. People don't give a shit about COVID if they can make money. It's every industry. Nothing's going to change. And again, am I happy that we're getting movies? Of course I am. Am I a little, concerned that how come this many people can get together all the time and whatever, and the rates aren't going where they would prefer them to go? I don't want to get on the topic again. I'm just saying it's just odd. You know what I mean? But things so they're still coexisting. Now I feel bad for some people.
True.
Like JP, they got to drive further out now. They don't have anything that's like within earshot or where it's just like 10 miles away or something.
That's what I was saying.
Right.
That's going to be the reality for a lot of people. I think that's where it will go. It kind of sucks.
It does kind of suck. I agree.
But that's just, I think, the reality. Look at what COVID has done. Like, look how many chains have shut down. I don't know if you have David's Tea in the States, but that's one chain of many chains that shut down. Like Le Chateau shut down for clothing. Not that I shop there, but I'm just looking at the malls and you saw them getting whittled away. We had 4 EB games, which is like GameStop in Canada.
Yes. Yeah.
In here, all of them except for one now. We had 4 that I could have gone to in town here. One now exists is now a GameStop. So not only did they amalgamate, they now have the American GameStop name. Yet their stock went fucking skyrocketing. That was one of those COVID Reddit things that happened during COVID. But ultimately, they amalgamated. And I think that's what's going to happen. Do we need 4 of those? No. Now you know where the one is, and you go to that one if you need to go to it.
Right. There's
too many options. Like the only ones that seem to survive, and not everything survived, but were food outlets, because we need to eat, and even if that meant Starbucks, which I don't understand, but people love it. People need to eat or spend a premium for coffee, and that's it. So that's fine, and they can do whatever they want to do. But food establishments seem to almost be unaffected by the situation, but definitely
there's that stuff though. There's what's that stuff called? Those Instacart, not Instacart, that's shopping, but there's StubHub and there's this and that. I'm sure you got something.
Oh yeah, Uber drivers skip the eats,
see what I mean? So that helps.
Yeah, DoorDash. Yeah.
See what I mean? Having that implemented took off in a major way. You would think that if they had stock, that would have been something that would have jumped at the time. I remember even like Zoom. All of a sudden, everybody was Zooming, and I was like, that's something to put stock in maybe. But either way, things are still happening. We're still existing. And again, maybe we'll look next year, and maybe I'll be proven wrong, and movies won't have as big of a budget. Do I personally care? No, but I know a lot of people that are a fan of like superheroes. But again, you think Marvel's not making money and Disney's not making money hand over fist still? I'm sure they are. Yeah. You know what I mean? In all these movies. And it's just like the same people that are always afraid physical media is going to die. It's not dying. Matter of fact, the boutique labels that we know about are thriving more than ever. And people are paying freaking through the roof prices. I wish they didn't. I wish that they were a little more affordable. But I mean, it's still there because the people that are going to be into it are like, again, who collects Blu-rays at my job? Nobody but me. But there seems to be enough of us that there's enough of a market where they can still make these things. And now, and I hate to bring this up, especially you just talked about games, and I don't want to talk about it because I'm disgusted. This PS5 thing, okay? Because I've been searching for days, day in, day out,
Yeah.
minute in, minute out.
You can't
Anyway,
find them anywhere.
don't even get me going. So now, so I'm obsessed about this. But now the PS5, I believe, I could be wrong. It comes with the 4K. You could play 4Ks.
You got to get the disc. It's a true 4K
The disc one.
That's why I want it. Because
Right.
I asked my son. I said, which one would you prefer? And at first he says, digital. Then I said, okay, that means you can only download the games. He's like, oh no, I really want that disc drive. I said, good choice, good idea, but you can't find them anywhere. Or you have to pay a fucking huge premium because some Yahoo bought 5 of them or got his hands on 5, and they're selling them for $200 premium on top of it. I don't do that. Oh,
I see it everywhere, and I see people that have a ton of them, and like it's $500. You're right. The cheapest I could get one for someone that isn't trying to scam me is $800, but then you got to add tax and shipping, so you may as well say $900. So now that's the cheapest I could find, a $500 piece of equipment. And anytime I see a deal, it's always too good to be true. And I talk to them. If you don't take PayPal and you don't give me an invoice, I don't care what type of story you tell me. And boy, it frustrates. Again, I didn't want to get on it, but I can't even because this is all I'm doing constantly. I want to get this little girl, I call her. She's 15, but whatever. I want to get my daughter this more than anything. I want to make her Christmas, her year, her everything, because she deserves it. And I really want to make it happen. And I've been obsessed. I just missed something by a minute the other day. And so it's been a struggle. But bottom line, things are still going on. This PS5 has a player in it. So 4Ks are still going to be, all of a sudden, I'm seeing 4Ks all over the place on Blu-ray.com. They're all, so people keep, waving that flag about, theaters are going to be dead.
I wondered if there's just 4K. Like, we know that these 4Ks are not all that great. Not all of them. Sorry, let me rephrase that. We know some of them are done really well. I have a couple of those, but I have been underwhelmed. I've mentioned this on a previous show. I feel like some of them are just scans of the blue. They're not doing anything. They're like shitty, like super grain. Like I don't need to have that emphasized. Like so it's a fine line. That's why I'm sticking to Blu-ray. I remember people complaining about Blu-ray having the same feeling that Blu-ray did to VHS or to DVD, that it was not. And I'm like, but I've seen many a Blu-ray that were done really well. Really well. But
yes, dude.
I think 4K, it's hit and miss.
It is hit and miss. Again, I use that Blu-ray.com site, and I investigate. I try not to blind buy. I wait. I look, and I see. And then a lot of people do YouTube videos doing comparisons. People that are into it, but I'll look to see if it's an upscaled version or if it's a native 4K. First and foremost, you want to know that. But some, I would say, and this is obvious without me saying it, the jump from DVD to Blu-ray was probably okay. The jump from VHS to DVD was significant. It was definitely significant. Yeah. The jump from DVD to Blu was also significant. Maybe not as much as VHS to DVD, but still, it looks great. The jump from Blu to 4K, no, it's not. It's maybe on a good one. It's like 20% improvement.
You'll see it. Yeah, you'll see it.
You will,
but
yes.
not each and every one. Not each. Like I told you, I had that original Halloween 4K.
It's no good.
I'm not a fan of it.
I have it too.
I'm not a fan of it.
No, the Shout Factory one though is better. There's a guy that straight up did a comparison of both of them, talked about it, everything else. So I put that on my Amazon wish list. There's things that I like when it comes for me in holidays and birthdays. All I do now is I put something on my wish list. So I put that Halloween on there. I put the Thing 4K on there. I put Empire Strikes Back 4K on there because that one I want, because Empire Strikes Back was not really touched with that much by Lucas, like Star Wars, like The New Hope and like Jedi was. He did all kinds of changes. Empire it's like 95% the same. You know what I mean? So
I think it's enhancements in the visual. Sorry, Dave. I think again I've been complaining about this. I think we've got a bit of a delay, and so I think I've talked over you a couple of times. But I was just agreeing with you. I think he did sound and visual effects enhancements, but nothing like structurally different for the story.
No, I hear you. And about that delay, you're right, because your computer, your visuals are messed up on my video, and you get slowed down, and then it comes back. So that's kind of what happens. But the thing is, don't
Perfect.
forget the sound. Don't forget the, I know. Don't forget the sound. Sound is definitely great when it comes to 4K. That is one thing, if you are into the sound and all that stuff, you will notice that as well. So again, everybody's different. It's a lot of money. Again, I'm not going to spend. It's rare I'm going to spend $30 on a 4K or a Blu-ray or anything. 15 is what I look at. Some are very special, and I'll put something out there. But like right now, I go to that site, and it's something like Willy Wonka once selling for $10. I did the research on it. I read the reviews, and they say this is the best this is. Look, this I always study before I buy. You know what I mean? I don't just blindly buy 4K. I have to make sure that it's worth it, because in the beginning I bought a couple and I was burned. And I said, I'm not letting this happen. I'm going to learn more about it and everything else. So now some people, I think they just kind of fool themselves. I think they just say, all 4Ks are pristine. I'm like, no, you're just justifying your money spending by saying that. But in fact, I'm not afraid to say that I made mistakes. Tons of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe.
Well, like I said, that Christine one, we both agreed that the Christine one wasn't all that great.
No.
It's good, but it's not great.
It's bad for a 4K.
Same with Alien. I thought I was going to get something fantastic, and I was like, it's good.
Right.
It's good. It's like when I first used to get Laserdiscs, I put it in and I put the thing in, which was, I think I've mentioned this on the show, was my first Laserdisc. And I was like, holy fuck, this looks amazing. But then I judged every Laserdisc like that. And some of them just felt like they were copies. Like, so the audio might be better, but the video, like the quality just didn't seem as great. Or if I saw an artifact pop in, I get pissed off because I want it pristine. 4K is the same sort of thing. Like I read that thing one. Visually, I heard it looks probably the best it's looked. But I heard if you're into some sort of mix, I can't remember what mix it was for audio, that it's missing the mix that's on the Scream Factory or the Arrow version of it, one of the two, and that they didn't understand why that they import the mix over. So you've got a best audio experience for some on the Blu-ray 4K scan, and then you've got the best picture experience for some on the 4K version that's out now. So
I know, and believe it or not,
and I've got the sorry.
Believe it or not, some streaming services, there are improvements. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have it. Sorry. I think it's Netflix and Disney. The 4K streaming is actually, you have better sound than you do from a 4K disc. There are certain sites, and I forgot exactly how it was. I have it somewhere written down, and there was research that was done, and I forgot exactly what it was, but it's like, it's been, investigated and proven or tested. And it's like, there are a couple things where in streaming in the sound is actually rated better than buying the disc of that one. And in other places, the video is on par with the disc. So maybe someday they'll have it all there. Not that I want physical to go away, because I don't, because it's exciting for me, and it will be exciting for me on Christmas morning if somebody got me one of those and I opened it up and it's a 4K. It's my movie. It's my.
Just be more particular. I don't need everything anymore.
No.
I went through that stage when I was younger, when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, that I wanted it all. Not day one buy bullshit, but that all my favorites I wanted in either Laserdisc or VHS, or then it went to DVD, of course. Then I kind of I started into Blu-ray, and I'm like, I think I'm going to go the digital route. So I stopped collecting, and I went digital, and I sold a lot of my old DVDs off and some of my early Blu-rays, but I still kept some. And then ultimately, I within 2 years, 2.5 years, just started collecting again slowly because of this fucking show. And then, but now I've said I'm limiting it to that. But you're absolutely right. The thing with the Netflix or Prime is it seems like they rent them out. It's almost like they've got the licensing to be able to stream them for X amount of time. So you never know when it will just go away. Disney's cool because Disney owns these enterprises, so they're not going to go away. So you'll always have the best version of it available to you to stream. In my opinion, like I think, like especially if you're talking about the Star Wars series, if you're talking about the Marvel Universe, you've got everything they own. I don't know about so much like the Star Network, which is the one which is bundled in Canada, at least. I think it's probably bundled with you guys as well in the States, where I've got like the Alien movies and everything else on Disney Plus as well.
That's cool.
Like they've got the adult subsection. It's really cool. Like, you get all of this option. What they're not doing well, and I brought this up before, is what Arrow's doing. And Disney allows you to download, so does Arrow. That's one notch better than what Shudder does. Shudder does not allow downloads yet to tablets or whatever for when I'm traveling or just want to be offline to watch. Arrow allows that. So another up for Arrow there.
How much is Arrow?
Well, no, I think it's $4.99 a month, but I've got it. I had the first month free, and then it was $2.49 now for the next 3 months.
Nice.
Because they had some wicked deal going on that I'm sure you can still get. What I like what they do, they don't do it for every title, but I mentioned this and I will mention it again, is they put multiple versions of it. And I wish every streaming service did it so that if you don't have the physical, you're still getting everything that you want that physical for, other than to hold it in your fucking sweaty hands. You get the audio commentaries, the special features, everything. So you get either one or two audio commentaries, the making ofs, the featurettes, and Arrow puts them out. I'm not saying for every title, but puts them out. And I think if other ones did that, then digital would even win more so. And that's what the physical, like, again, the people that want physical are always going to click physical because they want that feel or whatever, nostalgia, whatever it is, that thing that they want, that need to have it.
They like to display it,
and that's
too.
never
Look at it and show it.
It's going to be there. But I'm telling you, the special features are what brought me back in, because I missed having some of those, even though they might have been ports from the Laserdisc or DVD. Right. And then they add one other new commentary to say, here's what's new or whatever it may be. Yeah. But just saying, Arrow, I give them big props for that as well, because I think that's super cool. And I wish all the other streaming services incorporated that. That would be great.
Now, you know what? This is the thing. It sucks to say, but that stuff only matters to people like us. Like the same people that are streaming on Netflix now and that don't understand why people buy physical are never going to get to sit down and watch a featurette and watch a making of. And it's a niche audience. I'm glad that we have them on disc, because it's all those the boutique labels. That's where you'll see it now. I think that somewhere along the way, the other companies, the major companies, found out that they're putting a lot into this, and they're not getting, maybe they weren't getting responses, or they weren't, whatever it was. I think because DVD, remember how heavy it was with special features at first. And then when Blu-ray came out, you saw a lot of bare bones blues from like regular companies, So I think they decided it wasn't worth it, that people weren't interested in it. And I don't think people are. People like us are. People that are into Arrow as a label. We want
you watch them once, maybe twice. That's the thing. There are audio commentaries I've never even heard. Oh, that's the thing. Like
who's got time?
And then that's the other thing. So I mean, it's that trade-off. But to have the option available, if it's available, that's great. And that's why I give that to Arrow. I don't know if anybody else. Shudder did it with a couple of options. Like, remember when that found footage movie came out that you really liked? They had it in the 2D version, the 3D with the red and blue, or they offered it in true 3D for Yahoos like me that had that TV service. I thought that was great.
Yes, it is great. You know what else they did it for? They did it for freaking Rob Zombie's 31 for some reason.
You're right. Yeah, they had the audio commentary version, right?
I think
it was exclusive to him, because they had theaters or Shudder.
Oh, well, maybe that was it, but that was it too. But they also had not just audio commentary; they had there was like two different things, and one was basically special features. So I never opened it, but I mean, if I was to open that movie up, it would probably be all the special features that would be on the Blue that was released or whatever. So they did it for that title. That would be cool. Because Arrow, of course, they know who their fans are. They know the people that are going to buy the discs and watch. So again, you can't really say anything bad about Arrow. They know how to take care of their customers and give their audience what they feel that they're using them for. And their prices aren't too ridiculously high. Yes, sometimes they are high, but they also have, maybe 3-4 good sales a year and stuff like that. They're not as obscene as some, like this Krampus thing, that 4K. I think I paid like $35 for it, or I didn't buy it. I put it on my wish list. Now it's down to $30 for this month, but still, That's a lot of money. Is it going to be worth it? I don't know. But I mean, I did it for the Halloween.
I have to have it too.
Right, and I got Halloween 2 and 3, and now the Halloween 3 right now you could buy it. I should have told you guys about it to post it somewhere. It's like down to 22 for the freaking 4K.
It's funny how that happens, right? Well, yeah. Scream Factory, something happened with Scream Factory because remember everybody thought that Friday the 13th was going to sell out. It hasn't sold out.
Of course not.
And you can find it. You can find it for 150. You can find it for 200. You can find it for whatever.
It was just on sale.
Actually. Yeah, it's funny. You're right. Someone did point that out too. You can get it for a really good price. You might not get the posters that came out. That's gone, but that's usually what's gone from Scream Factory if you didn't order right from them. Same thing. Like I don't know if they just got smarter with it or whatever. But everything now, because I thought that 40th anniversary, this one for Friday the 13th, the Steelbook that I got 2 copies of. I thought that was going to be good. And you'll still find it on for like $15 or whatever. Occasionally, like if you go to eBay, you'll be disgusted at what people try to do on eBay. You want to punch 95% of the people on eBay in the fucking face if you could.
Don't get me started.
Be included.
PS5. Believe me.
But I mean, like I go, do people even price shop? Like I told you this one.
No.
People are trying to sell this for like fucking $200 or something like that. I'm like, you can buy it. Like there are people still putting it for 20. With bids. And I'm sure if you just watch it, you'll probably get it for $30. This one I told you, I got all of these for the price of what that one was retail.
See both of those behind you right now that I still don't have, and I said I'm going to wait until I can get them cheaper. Right now I can get them both for 30 or less. You know, so they are going cheap. I'm still not it's still not low enough for me right now. I still want to wait and maybe a year from now buy them used, or maybe I get them for $20. Either way, but the point is they've already come down. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and that's it. And I remember when they were announcing the pricing, I'm like, this is kind of ridiculous. I think they're going to go down. And like I said, this one, $20 or $25. I know I got this and that other single disc one, another release of Friday the 13th. Remember this one came out too? That came out with the new transfer as well. And I got those both, I think, for $25, and I got that for $30. And everything came to like $60 or so, $65, shipping included. Man. For everything. So that was, I felt like, you know what, that felt good. The only one I don't have, like, again, there's a lot of them out. I mean, just saying, because they made so many different releases. They've got that one that was exclusive to Walmart. That was the DVDs of the first 8 movies that came with the little Funko. It came with this guy included in it as well. Oh, look at that. Canadiana takes over today.
Surprise.
Hello.
Oh, man, all this eye candy on Sunday morning, guys. I'm gonna have to like cool down a little bit. Thank God. He just takes the show down. I'm glad you finally got rid of him.
Good morning,
Audition
Hey guys.
Audition successful. You're in. You're in for good.
That's all it took. Huh?
Yeah. You showed up.
Real dropped over these episodes. Huh?
Whoever shows up is in.
You know
That's
what?
it. It's a part.
That sounds perfect. I love how you guys roll.
Yeah. It's like my sex life.
I feel you. I feel you on that, Christian.
I feel me too.
At least somebody feels me.
Yeah.
At least somebody does.
See, my friend's wife went away for 6 weeks. She's going to some academy for something or other, police, whatever the hell it is. And the guy was really upset about it. And he's got no kids. He's got a couple animals. And he goes, I'm not afraid to tell you that I shed a tear. I go, buddy, I respect that. But I'll tell you what, if my wife went away for 6 weeks, I love her. But it would be a celebration. I would masturbate every freaking night with my computer in my bed. No question.
Volume on.
Girl at night.
Volume up. A different girl.
Volume up, right?
Volume
well,
up.
my daughter's room is kind of closer than I'd like it to be, so maybe not volume up too much. But I would make the most of it. I'm like, man, I would do this. I wouldn't have to worry about it. I eat what I want. I love her, but you got to look at it from, the positive end. Yes, there's pros and cons to everything. You got to have the right attitude, man. That's what I tell them. I'd be doing this. I'd be doing that. Make the most of it. But anyway, we got on masturbation somehow, and
I came on, Dave, and that's why, you listen to Scott and I on Friday Nightmares. You're such an avid listener. You're such like a great, fan of us, Dave. We really appreciate all the fact that you listen all the time. It's really
fucking Dave.
Oh yeah, Christian. You still listen, Christian.
I listen to your show and I listen to Brian and Jamie's show. That's really the only two. And no disrespect to anybody else out there. I guess I'm not traveling as much, and when I refresh my feed, those two pop up, and that's what I listen to. I mean, between editing this and life, there's only so much time.
Yeah. Well, you got like 3 awesome kids. I can honestly say, Dave, when you come up one day, you know, I don't know, in 2050, when COVID is no longer a thing, and you meet Christian's family, they are literally the bomb. His kids are.
You met one kid and my wife.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You haven't met little Christian though.
No.
Little Christian is just like you. Like, he has a sense of humor, and he's only like what, 10?
He's only 10. You should see the Pennywise 10. You should see the Pennywise he drew. I showed the Michael Myers the other couple shows ago. This Pennywise, man, it's crazy. He's not he's doing so he'll watch and draw. So it's like a visual awesome. Copy. Like to have that skill is fantastic. I mean, like anybody could trace, right? But ultimately to visualize, to see it and to recreate on the paper, I love that.
Can he write scripts as well? Or are you going to get him to start writing the explanation?
I might have to if we want this thing fucking finished any time in the fucking near future. I actually went out last night and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to write. And I go, I can't write. I've got to reread everything. It's been so long. I've got to get myself back into it because otherwise you're just like, and I ended up watching a new movie instead. And unfortunately I probably should have wrote, which was I watched The Manor, which is really well made.
Oh, the Blumhouse with the older lady.
Well made, great acting, but just kind of dull.
Yeah, it's very much a Blumhouse movie. You know what I mean? That it's those 4 that came out in October. It's one of them. Yeah. Night Teeth, not Night Teeth.
The Barbara Hershey one.
Yeah, she's great. I thought she was great in it. I thought the acting was great. I thought it looked good. Like, again, this is one of those examples of everything kind of working from an acting and visual standpoint, but it just felt like...
Yeah. It was like a mediocre horror movie that you would show someone that's a mediocre horror fan.
Exactly.
That's honestly like what you would do with it, right?
I'll tell you what. A peek inside at the Dave Z method. First thing I did was go to IMDb. It was 5.3, which holds pretty strong, and it has a lot of rating. It has 5.3 with freaking 3,700 ratings. That is not bad. Okay, so now I dig a little deeper. You go to the Letterboxd. Now I go to the Letterboxd, and there's probably about 30 people that have seen it. I see. Hold on. I still haven't seen anything above a 3.5 yet. Okay. Smoke Show Crawford doesn't count. Love you, Scott. He doesn't. He gives a 4 to every movie. He's the highest rater of all, him and Mark Nato. So their 4 stars don't count. They may as well just not be there.
They cancel each other out. Sorry, Smoke Show.
So listen to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So there's probably like 24 there. One person gave it 4 stars. Scott. So I'm not watching it because aside from that, there's maybe 3 or 4 people gave it a 3.5. Everybody else is 3. So that shows me Dave,
3 is realistic. The way I rate.
I think 3 is fair.
Some people will rate a 5 because I always think 5 is not in the middle of the road. I always feel 5 is like I just gave it a pass because there was like some aspect of it that I liked, but overall I did not like the movie. And then everything else below it, it speaks for itself. But a 6 is kind of like, I can say I liked it and recommend it, or I can say, it wasn't that good, but it kind of feels like, it falls in that zone. 6 is always that weird zone for me. Like I would never watch it again, but it was well made and it looked good, but I'll still give it a 6.
I agree. That's it. 6 to me is I don't regret my time with it, but I'm probably not going to watch it again. 6.5 is I don't regret my time with it. I may watch it again. That's how it is. 6, I'm probably don't. I have no plans to rewatch it. 6.5 is that area that. Well, let's see. And this year, the only problem about this year is that I've given so many 6.5s. And it's been a good year because I'm very top heavy.
I think you're hard to please, Dave. I've been talking to your wife, and she's confirmed.
she's been getting 7.5s.
She's like, I can't get Dave to an 8 no matter what I do. It doesn't matter what tricks I pull out. It doesn't matter. He's still like, baby, that was 6.5.
You pull the balls back.
Yeah. That is one way
I pull the balls back all the time. Sorry.
All the time.
No, that might be the only way I can please her, is if you're in that department. Everything else, I'm not so sure.
Everything else like a below 5, right?
Yeah. My personality, forget about it. My temperament,
4.
my this and that. Right, At least I got that going for me. It's carried me this far in life.
Hey, whatever works, right there. Honestly.
And it does still work. Thank
God for my personality.
Praise God.
Yes, praise God in the highest. I just got to make sure, just stay this way, and no pills required yet, Although it would be
that pill will add an inch.
Yeah.
Give me a prescription.
Shit. But you make some valid points, Dave. As much like I've watched a lot of 2021s. I don't give my ratings. I'm very secretive with what my ratings are for movies. But I was talking to I don't give them on Letterboxd.
Oh, neither do I. Not on new ones.
Right? I'll say on Friday Nightmares, I recommend watching this, or if you like ABCD, you'll probably like this movie.
Correct.
But there's very few movies compared to last year, and I was talking to Brandon about this, that I really stuck with me for a long time. There's about 5 that I watched personally, and I was like, man, that really connected with me. But there's a lot that I'm like, I had a good time. Like, there was a lot of really enjoyable horror comedies that came out this year, for example.
Yeah.
And some really interesting budget films that came out that were really well shot, especially during COVID. But nothing for me was like, oh my gosh, Hail Mary. Like last year, Rent-A-Pal for me was very emotional. I found that movie very sad. Oh. I found it very depressing. I know.
There's a bunch of other people that loved it too. I got to rewatch that one because I just thought it was there. I really have to give that another try just based on how much praise I hear, especially because Brandon, it was his 1 or 2. His 1. It was his first.
Brandon and I one film, of last year. Both Brandon and I. But Brandon and I are like twinsies, so we just try to mimic it.
It's sickening.
That's why you're here. That's why you're here. What's the
by the way, did we visually everybody could see that it's Heather that joined us. I know we talked about Friday Nightmares, but I don't know if we actually introduced this voice.
No.
I said Canadiana, and we mentioned Friday Nightmares, and we mentioned Smoke Show, but we never necessarily officially mentioned Heather Powell is in the Exploding Headquarters today. We're bringing that back.
Absolutely. I feel really special to go from being like a guest to being like, hey, you want to jump on? I'm like, I'm pretty important. Scott, you can't jump on. Well, I told him to, but I don't think he will, Dave. He's kind of a bitch. He's I can say that. I love him to death, but he is probably like, that's not part of my routine this morning. I have to get ready. Well, like, right?
I do. I respect routines.
Well, what happens when your shower's taken? Like how many mornings have you got up?
Wrenched. He wrenches himself.
You can't get into the fucking shower. And I really felt you about that toilet paper thing. So much so we talked about it on Friday Nightmares. I was like, you know what? That's a shitty thing, quote, a shitty thing to do to somebody when you use all the fucking toilet paper.
Yeah.
It was my fault.
Does that?
Sure, it was my fault. And if it isn't, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna agree that it is or say that it is.
It's just easier, right?
As I read it, like, your shot? What the hell's going on here today? It was my fault.
I'm trained well.
Yeah, right.
My fault.
I'm trained well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be the person that I should be. Every year I keep getting better and better. Right now I have the attitude, like probably the best attitude I've had since like childhood. I'm in a completely zen state of mind, and I just want to live for the moment and enjoy the moment and be happy and not let. I don't want to look back and one day at this time that I'm living now and say, man, you sure were worried about this and finances and this and that. You should have just been going with the flow and had fun decorating on Christmas and not caring about the cold and just doing family stuff instead of always saying, oh boy, Christmas is coming. I got to worry about this. I got to worry about that. So I'm trying to, and I'm just about there, and it's taken years. You got to train yourself to to do that, because I do believe in self-healing. I've been clinically called depressed and this and that in my life, and I've always healed myself without the aid of anything. And I'm not saying anybody can do it. I was, and when I did talk to a psychologist, they said, well, I admire that you can heal yourself that way, that you say it's all a state of mind and you're able to do it. And I said, yeah. I go, everybody has bad days. I go, but I think that if I really put my mind to something, I can do it. So I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to be the best father and husband I can be. However, I still have weak moments like everybody else. And 3 hours later, I'm like, man, I wish I would have kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Oh, that happens. That happens daily, weekly, whatever. It doesn't. It just depends on the magnitude of it. Sometimes it's this, or most of the times it's this, and then other times it could be elevated to a level that you're like, how did that get to there? And I know that I've created it sometimes, or my reaction to something has escalated it to that level.
It comes out in my sleep.
Yeah. No.
It comes out. Listen now, this is true, because my wife, just the other day, I forgot what she said that I said. I guess I said something about, you motherfuckers always fucking stressing me out, or something like that.
In your
One of
sleep?
these days, and she woke me up because and this is what I told her. I go, and that's just one example. This has been happening a lot the last couple of years, and I go, I think it's because I keep it all inside because I don't want to complain, or because when I do complain, it just makes matters worse. So I keep everything inside and don't say anything when I'm agitated or upset or this or that, the other thing. So I think it has to come out somehow, and I think it comes out in my sleep. That's the only thing I can think of.
Now, were you talking about her or the podcasting community when you said that same thing?
Could be anything. I don't know.
You're like, fucking Dan, fucking Alex, fucking Jamie.
Yeah, they're all stressing me. No, I got no from friendship. I have no stress there. All my stress goes back to the same shit. It's always worrying about money. That's really what it comes to at the end of the day. And if it wasn't for that, to me, that's peace of mind. I'm like, man, just let me be wealthy. And then I'm almost afraid for it to happen, because I think if I ever do exhale, so to speak, I'll get stricken with fucking ALDS or something. Well, now I can finally be okay.
Why was that the first ailment that you went to?
There.
Yeah. But like, what out of anything that you could pick, that was the one he went to.
It's the worst thing I could think of. It's a terrible thing. You know what I mean? Cancer's too easy. It's low hanging fruit. I went. Everybody could say cancer.
Low-hanging cancer.
But cancer.
You could get ball cancer, and that would be even worse, Dave. Can you imagine?
No.
Your poor balls.
I don't want to imagine any of that. No,
never. I think you're a pretty zen guy, though, Dave. I don't think you're an overly... I think you're actually very sensitive, and that's what it comes down to, is that you care a lot.
It's the worst thing in the world. It's the fucking worst thing. It's like, check it. The only thing my wife and I, this whole decoration thing, I don't like to use the word hate. I don't like it in my vocabulary. But the only things I hate are the cold weather and myself. Other than that, I have no hate towards anything else in the world. So the cold weather, I really, really, really hate the cold weather. Like, if I could eliminate one thing in the world, it could never be under 50. See, and I hate myself because I should say...
Now, you have two Canadians. We need you to switch that to Celsius. No, I'm just kidding.
What does that mean? 50 sounds hot, Heather. It sounds fucking hot.
I'm like, 50? You're going to die, Dave. Get out.
What's the Humidex? I'm the other way. Don't get me wrong. I love warm weather, but I hate being hot. I hate it. We were talking earlier, Heather. I was traveling. I was on a plane, and I was sweating because they weren't circulating the air, and I was like, that is me in hell. No pun intended. I would rather be cold. I'd rather be cold and be shaking a little bit than be sweaty and in that hot state. Now, again, on a beach, no problem. Able to hop in the ocean, no problem. But just in regular environments, I hate that feeling. I hate it. So I'd rather be cold than hot. It's funny that we're talking about this, because I actually said that while I was in that situation on the plane, going, God damn, fuck this. I hate this so much. My jacket was off. I was wearing a short sleeve shirt, and I was still hot.
And you were flexing your biceps for everyone on the. Yeah. You're like, oh man, it's so warm.
Can I get a booster shot over here? Sorry.
I love it. So you're traveling for work again.
Yeah, well, it was an on, and who knows if we did it, and I don't know if we're going back again. You'll hear it. You'll hear it when you listen back to this.
Oh, I can't wait.
I don't want to bore the audience again. But yeah, so it's funny, Dave, that you say it because I'm the opposite way. I'm not saying I don't like really warm weather, but I hate that feeling of just being hot and having no relief from the heat.
Okay, well, hold it. Let me check it. Let me paint this picture. Let me give you the scenario. My issue is I don't like decorating outside for Christmas. I don't even like doing it for freaking, as much as I love Halloween, I don't even like being outside in October most of the time unless it's the right day because I don't like being out there decorating and being in the cold. So let me paint this picture. See, given the choice, would you rather be outside? Now, what is like 35 degrees Fahrenheit to you? What is that, 0 or
That's
3
zero,
or something?
I think, yeah.
Okay, so would you rather be outside when it's 0 for you, bundled up, hats, gloves, this and that, on a ladder with the wind blowing and ice and this and that, and your face is red and you got to cover everything, and you're hanging lights? Or would you rather be in a situation where it's like, I don't know, 88 degrees of mine would be what for you?
Comfortable still. I think, 28? I don't know. What the fuck?
Yeah, you're probably right.
So,
yeah, you're probably right. From 28.
Would you rather be hot outside in summertime? Yes, you're hot. Yes, you're wiping your head, but you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt or whatever, and you're doing stuff, and you can drink your water and you do your thing.
No, in that situation, I would choose the 28 or the 80.
I'm going to add a third option. The guy I'm banging can go outside and do the lights for me. That's the option I choose, Dave.
And that's why I'm an asshole, because I let her do it all, and she wants us all to do it all.
Well, maybe she should be bringing her A game a little bit more with Junior, and you'd be willing to do it more, huh?
I don't want to be in the fucking cold.
I always do the exterior ones. No one seems to care about those. Well, they want them, but they don't care. Everybody chips in and does the interior. So the interior one is like a family event. The exterior one is like me. But remember, exterior is relative. I hang a wreath over the garage area that lights up, and then I have 3 reindeer, and I put a floodlight on them. Done.
I'm going to drive by Christian's house and take pictures for everyone. And I'm going to put it on the page so they can all see what his house looks like.
Well, hold off, because the reef has taken a sidestep because I had to take the lights off of it last night because I thought it was 2 strains of lights. It was 1, and the electrical all came apart. So I've got to now rewire that with new lights.
Oh,
so wait another day.
Okay, I'll wait a day. I realize we emphasize that stereotype of all Canadians knowing each other. Like, if you're listening to this and this is your first time, I want to assure everyone, Christian and I just happen to live near each other.
Remember, this goes Patreon for like at least 2 years. So by that point...
But you guys are getting new Patreons all the time. We blow your show like crazy. I have even a fucking promo I do all the time trying to get you guys to like... get more Patreon.
We love it.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to spot in that movie. That's why.
Okay.
It's I gotta put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard in this case. I think when you asked me a question earlier, 30 page. I think I'm on page 30. Like it's like
bad.
That first turning point area, and that's
send something to me. Let me see.
I think I asked this on the show, and there was like crickets when I said it. I mean, I could send it. I could send PDF of it right now, and I know, like, again, I could put the gist of it of where it's supposed to go. I know where it's going. It just hasn't been fucking done. So I could send you what I've got, and then the timeline.
Maybe I can give you some ideas. Maybe I'll have some ideas. You'll look at it and you go, oh, you know what? That might be cool. Believe me, I won't be offended if I share an idea and you say, no, I want to go this way. Believe me, I'm impossible to offend.
And vice versa. I need to have it looked at to be kind of to figure out if the beginning is even working. If it's like I think I've done it where exposition's there. You gotta have it in there, but you gotta kind of play around with how it's kind of being delivered a little bit. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it falls directly into convention and cliche and tropes, and we gotta like get a fresh set of eyes and on it and whatever. So that's why I'm totally open for that. But anyway,
page 30 is pretty good though, Christian. Like it's tough to write a script. You're trying to.
Let me look while we're here. But I'm pretty sure when I was doing it yesterday, I was like, oh fuck.
Because you knew the show was coming.
No. Just because I knew I'd let it go. I hadn't done it for so long. Yeah, actually,
Ooh,
page 20. Actually, page 27. I'm on page 27.
Page 27. All
but
right.
My problem is I've actually edited some, and I shouldn't be doing that. I've actually changed things and edited things, and the whole fucking thing I said, I've said this over and over again, is just write the fucking thing. Just write it all out. But I've gone back and I've fine-tuned and edited things already, and I should just get the actual story out. Anyway, what were you about to say, Dave? I apologize.
Nothing. There might be another surprise coming on. I was gonna ask, did I ever tell you guys the story about crossing the border in reindeer? Because you were talking about reindeer before. And that story?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
So here's my story. One time we're going over the border for a concert, something or other. I forgot which one it was. I don't know. Maybe it's Fish. Might have been U2. Could have been Beck, Beastie Boys, whatever. I'll go to every concert. Either way, we're partying, everything else. And who knows what we have in the car. Yeah, I saw Beck at, what do you call it? Not
Postman Anthem?
No.
Air Canada?
What? Beer Canada?
Air Canada. Air Canada.
Oh,
Beer Canada!
Well, back in his day, it would have been like the Skydome or Exhibition. I think that would have been the only two places.
Coliseum.
Or that's in Hamilton.
Yeah. Dave, that's right by my house.
See, I saw
If it was now, you could come and we would smoke a fatty together and do some eddies.
I know we could. Oh, yes. Bear it up, baby.
And then we'll call Christian randomly. Christian, leave your family. Come here.
I saw Black Sabbath there.
Oh, nice.
I like the venue. I have a cousin of mine, like, he hated it. He said it was the worst venue to see a concert. I'm like, I liked it. It's more intimate. So you got the stadium feeling, but it was more intimate.
Matchbox 20 there, it's good. It's a good venue.
I like it.
And it's close.
There, yeah. I've been to Air Canada, Maple Leaf Gardens. I've been to freaking Cops Coliseum. I've been to all of them, Skydome. I've seen tons of concerts in Canada over the years because you guys, a lot of things skip right over Buffalo, and they're there. Toronto in the surrounding areas get them. So we used to go. So one time we're going over. Now, the weekend before, my friend went camping, and he had stuff in the back. He had tents and this and raincoats and some other shit, whatever the hell. He had some things back there. So we're going over the border. And then we get the usual line of questioning, and the guy comes in the back and looks, and he goes, "What's in the back of the truck here?" And my friend says, "Rain gear." Rain gear. He's got stuff. So the guy at the border says, "Reindeer?" And he says, he says, "Rain gear." And then the second time he says, "Reindeer?" And then my friend goes just like this, "Rain gear." Like that. And the guy said, "Pull over." And we all got pulled out. They had dogs over sniffing us. We got detained because of this guy thinking that the guy said he had reindeer in the back of his car. Yeah.
They're like, there's no fucking comic back here. There's no Dancer or Prancer or Vixen.
Reindeer.
I want to know what that guy's thinking, though. Could you imagine he actually thought for a moment that we had reindeer in the back of our vehicle? Like, what do you mean? Like, massacred? What? What was he thinking?
Oh, I probably just thought you guys were fucking high and that you were just being dicks. That's probably what he thought. I hope. I don't know. Yeah. Canadian Border Services clearly at their fucking finest right there.
You're trying to sell your...
Aren't you proud?
Your venison, or not venison. Yeah, venison, right? Like,
yeah,
here
venison.
in Canada.
You can't bring meat over the border? I've had my car searched for fruits and vegetables every time I've traveled. Last time I went to see Scotty, they were like, anything in the car? I'm like, no. They're like, any fruits or vegetables? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, open your trunk. I'm like, okay. They went through my trunk and they're like,
is this like the Sarnia border?
They were real disappointed. Yeah, the Sarnia border.
Sarnia is a hang-up about fruit, or actually was that one had it, and the Detroit one, the one at Windsor, Detroit, had an issue with that too. Never get that issue at the Niagara or Buffalo borders.
No,
never.
Buffalo's just like
on those ones, they're always hung up on it. And I think one time I had like fucking sesame seeds or whatever, and a Coke, and I'm like, oh, we got this. She goes, well, that's what I meant when I said, do you have any, I'm like, oh, sorry, it's a fucking snack. I thought you meant like if I had like venison or fucking fish, like dead in the fucking back that we're carrying over. Fucking sesame seeds.
Wait a minute. You need to take this seriously. Secondary.
I go, You're worried about sesame seeds in my fucking car. Look at half the fucking houses I can see from here with no roof. You fuck.
You're like
you ever drive through that? It doesn't show Michigan in the best light.
I have in the back.
Yeah. Not Coca-Cola, not cocaine, Coca-Cola. But the fucking you drive through that way. Wow. Michigan looks like it's been bombed. There's like there looks like there's a row of houses that there's holy shit, that house has no roof. Oh my God, that one has no roof.
Yes.
And if you think I say roof weird, I just was out in Newfoundland. Oh, wow, that's where we get roof.
Newfoundland?
Roof. Yeah, I came up and looked at the roof. Yeah.
The roof.
Look at the roof.
Yeah, the roof.
It's like a dog, roof.
I said, look at
I just got a new roof for my doghouse.
Yeah.
So here's my wait a minute. This is a good setup for a horror movie. I think it could start off with us talking about, hey, what the hell's the deal with fruits and vegetables? Well, no, listen. Maybe there was an incident in Michigan. It's been buried, but fruits and vegetables came to life and started killing people or some shit. That would be a ridiculous movie. But think about it. People would like something dumb like that. Imagine a carrot walking around with a freaking, you know how, you could cut a carrot so it would look like, like the Canadians look on South Park when their whole head open.
Yes.
He hates Psycho Gorman, but this is the idea he comes up with for the movie.
No. Hold on. No. I said people like that stupid shit. Yeah. I don't like it, but I want to make money off it. That's the difference. It's not my type of comedy, but I know that other people will pay money to see stupid shit like that. That's why my mind works that way. I'm always thinking about financially. It's a creative thought.
Yes, absolutely.
I can't help but think that, if something is going to sell, whether or not I like it, I'm still going to do it.
You just have to tie it into something environmental. You'll blame the Flint water situation. Boom, it created bad fruit.
No, we blame Scott Crawford. Scott's from Michigan. We blame fucking Scott. That's who we blame.
Right,
Scott's the fall guy. He's coming. He's getting himself beautified for you. He has to do his beard. He needs to make sure he's got all his snacks and his water. You think I'm kidding?
It's okay. Lord. No, I don't think you're kidding at all. You gotta have at least it's not alcohol. Well, it's too early in the morning.
Oh, hey, you know what? We don't judge on Friday Nightmares, Dave. Whenever you want to drink, you can drink. You want to drink at 6 a.m.? You can drink at 6 a.m.
Why not? People smoke joints at freaking 9 a.m. Why can't somebody?
Right? Exactly.
It's just to get the day off to a nice start.
Yeah.
Wake and bake. But the thing is, when the marijuana buzz wears off, it's not like an alcohol buzz wearing off.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? You could go about your day. Maybe have a cup of coffee. You're good as new. Where if you get drunk, at 9 in the morning, by the time noon comes around, you're probably gonna have to go back to bed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It happens to me every weekend. That's what I end up having to do. Speaking of every weekend, I want to throw something about TGIF Friday 13. I think you remember this podcast used to exist, Christian. Right? So anyway, I messaged Vince.
Yeah.
So I had befriended Vince, and I've been trying to meet up with him. And I want to be Vince's hot gay boyfriend because he has the best fucking social life of anyone.
You want him to be, or you want to be his hot gay boyfriend?
I want to turn myself into a man and be his hot gay boyfriend so I can go to all his fucking social events. Seriously,
I was like, hey, very social. Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to the Well, which is this new bar. My girlfriend wants to go. And it's a gay bar, so she really wants to go check it out. And I was like, hey, you want to come? He's like, oh, I got Christmas parties every weekend. I'm like, oh, well, Scott's coming up on the 30th. Are you around? I don't know. I'm going to Buffalo. I'm like, you going to go see Dave C? Is that why you're going to Buffalo? Yes.
What's he doing in Buffalo? What's he doing here?
I don't know. He's just constantly traveling. And
he's a circus guy like C. That's how
we gotta film. We gotta record 3 more fucking episodes. For the last 6 months, we haven't done one. 3 more. That's it.
Busy.
You know that it will be, if we just wait a year, it will actually be our 10th anniversary. That's fucking crazy.
That means you can fuck somebody else.
We might as well just do 3 next year.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
It's the 10th anniversary. Mine's coming up in January, and we're watching Larry Dave and watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. And on that show, they're heading over to their 10th anniversary, and she's going to give him the present by letting him fuck somebody else. So now I hear 10th anniversary. I'm like,
now does she get to fuck someone else too? Like it should work both ways, right?
The thing is, she hasn't asked about it. Like, here's what happened. They flashed.
Oh man, I would be fucking someone else.
Well, that's. Right? Why not?
Uh-oh.
That's the problem. My wife and I have talked about it, and I'm like, well, the thing is, it isn't that I don't want to. Of course I want to, but it's hard for a guy to pull that off because every woman you talk to, you tell them you're married, this and that. It's a big fucking hang up. And then
you got to find a woman that has the same mentality, and that's rare. I don't believe in monogamy, so it's rare to find people that believe it, that feel that way.
It's tough. And if they only know it's just for this one time and everything else, it's hard to do. Now, if you're a woman, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. However, the thing is this. As much as I would enjoy doing that, because I'm not the type of guy that's going to front. Dave Z is Dave Z, and this is me. Sure, I'd like to do it.
Why are you fronting?
I don't like the idea.
I love that term, front. Sorry.
I don't like the idea of her doing it. Now, she hasn't said she wants to do it, but if that was the deal, well, this is it. That's why I won't do it. If that's the deal.
If you guys don't tell each other, what you don't know won't hurt you.
Yeah,
just putting it out there, Dave. Like, if you guys both decide to bang
possibly
other people,
the worst advice I've heard on the show since we started the
honestly,
show.
though, people keep secrets every day in a marriage. Every single fucking day. So if this is something you two decided to do, as long as no one comes home with herpes, surprise, honey, got the herpes, then you're fine. Like, honestly, if that's what the two of you want to do, what you don't know won't hurt each other.
Get that
just
in
tell
writing,
each other on your
in
deathbed.
The contract. You got herpes?
Yeah, put it in writing.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah. Yes.
We have another guest. Guys. We got another guest coming in hot. Scott Crawford, Smoke Show.
Hello.
Because we didn't.
Hello. How about this, B? Poor B can't be here, but his other podcast buddies, his best friends on the podcast, they're all here, assembled.
Oh my gosh, I'm not really his best friends. You guys got to listen to the chat. So we have a chat, and I've actually changed the name to Two Dudes in Love and Heather, because these two guys talk about sucking each other's dick, docking, how they want to like cuddle and spoon each other. Brandon tells Scott every day that he loves him, and he'll be like, "I fucking hate you, Heather. Why are you still on this call?" And he'll be like, "Scotty though, Scotty Bear.
Sounds like him.
I love you." It is so like, it is Pride Day every day in our chat group with these two, honestly.
What can I say? Brandon's my cuddle buddy.
Honestly.
So they're living their best life.
They are.
See,
they are.
Back to that Vince thing. Is it because he's a gay man? Are these all gay get-togethers? Or are they just regular get-togethers socially? Because my gimmick, my motto has always been about again, I wish I were gay, and I think gay men have the best life. Yes, I know there's been persecution and this and that, but to me it's worth it because it's probably so damn easy to get laid if you're a guy.
I'll get your dick sucked. Like, you go to a bar, you're like, "Hey, you want to?" "Yeah, fuck yeah, man." And you leave and you go suck each other's dick and then you come back. It sounds great.
Yes.
I agree.
I think it's the life. I'm looking
you have
at
a beer as a
positives.
chaser.
Right? And like, have you seen Vince? Vince is hot. Like, I say to Scott all the time, like, "Oh fuck, Vince is so fucking hot." Like, honestly, like, maybe I can like die and come back as a gay dude. Like, seriously.
Yeah, when I was his roommate, I'm like, "We're gonna slay at the bar. We're gonna pick up all these women."
Right?
What, Vince? What's that? No, he didn't tell me till after. We all knew. We all knew. It's like, like,
right?
Like you suspect, but he wasn't out of the closet yet, and he came out of the closet after university.
Oh.
But
okay.
But yeah, the cock in his mouth tipped me off.
But he's probably having a blast.
He is having a blast. He has the best social life, honestly.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm telling you, I'm onto something here. I've always said that I wish I were gay and everything else, and then I've always said that no one could ever say I don't like gay people because I, for the longest time, would say I wish that every man in the world was gay except me. Because the more gay men, the more women for me.
Man, Dave, you would be banging all the time because I really like sex, so I'd be taking a lot of trips over to Buffalo. Make sure I'm not bringing any fucking apples, though. Right?
I'm just saying I am selfish, but think about it. There's something good to be. If everybody was gay, and I wasn't, it's more for me. I should want.
Oh, man.
Straight men should want more gay men in the world because the ratio is tough as is. It's the cat and mouse. Women always pursue the men. Or other way around. Sorry, men always are doing the pursuing. There's competition. You go to bars. Don't you remember going to bars in your freaking 20s and there'd be like 20 dudes to one girl and everyone wants to bang the same girls and it's like, well, if all these guys were gay and not me, well then guess what? She's mine. You know what I mean?
Well, that's if she wants to bang you though, Dave. Yeah, she still has to consent to that. Just letting you know.
There's that little aspect that he forgets that comes into play. Bear with me. I got to get my water. I'm going to be 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Dave, though, I hear you, but as a chick, I am definitely one of those chicks that pursues men. And, like, if a guy buys me a drink, I'll be like, hey, let's have a conversation. Like, I'm not a bitch. And if I've been in a relationship and a guy's bought me a drink, I'll be like, look, I got a boyfriend, but do you want me to try to hook you up with one of my friends? And I try to hook them up with one of my single friends. Like, I am definitely a chick that won't waste dudes' time, but I'll be polite. But with our podcast, okay, so Scott's dated a lot of chicks. Like, sometimes I mess up their names, which is fine. I'm proud of him. But they all download and listen to our podcast. When I have dudes hitting on me online, they never download the podcast. Never. They'll just be like, hey, you like horror movies? And that's it. I'm like, listen to my fucking podcast, motherfucker. What are you doing?
My favorite is the one where the guy's like, I know you like horror movies, but don't worry, baby. I can hold you and cuddle you when you get scared watching them. I'm going, oh, you don't know her at all.
A guy said that to you? That's the worst line known to man.
Men are stupid.
You know what? Shoot your shot, man. If a guy messages me, I will message back, and I'll be polite, and I won't be rude.
I didn't have messages.
Anyone messages me, right?
Thank God. I didn't have messages back.
And honestly, I've never had an unsolicited dick pic. I've never had anyone say anything overly inappropriate to me. Like,
unsolicited,
they're all fine,
that's a key
right?
word there.
Yeah.
Unsolicited.
That is the exact key
That's
word
all I heard.
that I said.
Well, you gotta have
right.
She's got a wall of dick pics in the room next to her.
I got like an album.
She just sits in a lazy Susan and spins herself around like this, looking at all the dick pics.
And my mouth is open too, right? Like, I'm like, which one do I want?
What you want? I want to ask you that as a female. Yeah. Because there's a story behind it, though. If you could, would you always like to see the unit before you commit to going down that avenue?
No. That's not a make or break for me.
So okay. Dave's theory when he said he would love to have a 13-inch cock, like
I'd be like, that looks painful. You put that monster away. I'd be like, I don't want my fucking liver getting poked by your monster there. That would be too much.
9 is perfect.
That's a lot. That's a lot, Dave. Like, I think that like a lot of men watch porn, and maybe there's ladies out there who prefer. I will just say I don't need something that big to get the job done. So that's for me. It doesn't appeal.
That's why Brandon's been in the friend group for so long.
That's why Brandon, my future husband. Oh man, one time Brandon called me his girlfriend by mistake, and remember that time, Scotty, in our conversation?
Oh hell yeah, I do. We ripped him apart, and we still
nice.
I was like, I'm your what? And he's like, I fucking hate you. You're nothing.
Well, I hope he's healthy because I made a bad joke that he's not here because he's suffering nerve damage from his booster shot.
No, he just gets really
knock on wood.
He gets sick.
Yeah,
but he's also dramatic.
The guy goes nowhere. He gets sick. So the one guy that doesn't need the booster shot out of everybody I know is Brandon because he doesn't leave his fucking house, and the guy's like vaxxed to the max.
Yeah, he also just has like the shittiest immune system, but he's also kind of a baby, and I don't care, Brandon. You can listen to this. You're kind of a fucking baby. So like he also gets like he does. Scott and I know he'll be like, oh man, I got a headache today. But he is feeling shitty. So hopefully he took his Advil and he's getting his sleeps and he feels better later.
Well, we don't use the term sleeps on the show.
You know, we use sleeps in our chat all the time. Yeah. I told him when he's been cranky, I'm like, you need to go make the sleeps and you need to go to bed now because you're being a prick.
You guys have watched, I don't mean to change the subject, but since you're both here and we're not just in chat, you guys have watched probably getting to an obscene amount of 2021 horror movies, right?
Yeah, I'm over 200 now. Yeah.
And Scott?
And I'm at 180.
Holy fuck, that's obscene. Both of them, but that's good. So I'm asking if you can name one, just one, that you think needs to be seen that maybe nobody's heard of, or I don't like to use that term because or that you think is under the radar. What would that maybe? Could you pigeon or get down to one?
I got one right off the bat. Ankle biters, also known as cherry pickers. It's pretty much about a guy that
Fuck my
are actually about this family of 4 girls, like little toddlers, that see that her mom dates a hockey player, and like they see them doing a sexual act, and they think the hockey player is actually hurting mommy, so they turn around to get revenge.
Ankle biters, or what's the other? It goes by
Cherry Pickers.
It goes by Cherry Pickers. Jason Lloyd told me about this 3 days ago, but he said it's not a horror movie, but he said it's funny because of something.
It's definitely
told me this.
I don't get this
a horror
fucking horror movie label. It's a horror movie. Jason Lloyd, you're
wrong.
Yeah? It's a fucking horror movie.
Well, he was wrong about Old. He told me Old wasn't a horror movie, and I watched it yesterday, and it definitely is.
It's a horror movie.
Okay. It's fair. I guess all the girls are related. It's like 4 sisters, and they're real all related. That's what he was telling me.
Yeah, that's what I found. I was like, wow, that's impressive.
What did Jason think it was, a comedy? I don't understand. He thought it was a thriller? Like, I don't know. This horror movie label,
I think he just said it was
a up their ass. Honestly, I think it's fucking ridiculous.
I think
like,
here's how I look at it. If I don't think it's a horror movie, then I don't. Then I'll tell someone, well, I don't think it's a horror movie. You may, but he knows how I am. He knows my taste enough to think that he thinks that if I watch it, I wouldn't think it was a horror movie. But again, he was wrong about Old. You know what I mean? So, but I forgot exactly what he said about it. But he said something about you guys should watch, because he loves the movie. He says this is a good movie. You guys should see it, but I don't consider it a horror movie. It's something to that effect. He said.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I don't see how he wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know how he would say it's not a horror film.
We're just gonna say it, Jason. You're wrong.
Yeah.
That's fine.
This is one of those where no one's talked about it. I watched it out of nowhere. Like, I watched the trailer first, and I'm going, okay, this looks like it could be silly. I watch it and go, oh, this isn't silly. This is really dark, and like it completely caught me by surprise. And now it's probably in contention for my number 10.
Ooh, man, this guy. What am I gonna do with you?
Well, you just badmouthed them earlier and said that it's 4 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 review for that other movie.
It's not a badmouth. It's just I'm being true to the game.
I beat a jerk because he's now here, and I just
know.
wanted to
I know what you're doing.
Yeah, he thinks that your ratings don't matter, but in all fairness, Dave, I think the same thing, because when Scott says a movie's really good, I always say to Brandon, you watch it, and if you think it's good, I'll watch it too, if I'm on the fence. So I wait for Brandon to watch movies that Scott recommends sometimes, and Brandon usually likes it, so it just proves that Scott's right.
And I love when I'm proven right.
Yeah.
That's a tough one for me. See, Cherry Pickers, a 4.1 out of 10, only has 100 ratings. So movies tend to go down, down, down instead of up, up, up when they have 1,000 ratings and 2,000 and 3,000, etc. So that's a tough one for me.
Dave, I just want you to follow your heart on this one and just take a chance. Okay?
Well, remember, I said I have 10 6.5s. I'm already upset about that one. That's the most I've ever had in like 5 years.
I like that poster, Dave, though. Like that poster, the couple smiling, looking down at the kids, and they're all looking back, and they're holding bloodied instruments of death behind their backs. I think it's quite good. Simple but effective.
The poster is fine. Hold on, let me look at that poster. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Yep, I have no issue with that poster at all. It's fine. So we have 4 ratings on Letterboxd. We have 4 ratings on Letterboxd. Brandon, no rating. Somebody has
Brandon never rates.
7. He's like, that's good. I like that. Lonely Bob 3.5, Andrew 1.5, and Smoke Show with his standard 4. So that's why the 4 don't count.
I can tell you it is very high on Brandon's list.
Yeah,
Brandon really enjoyed it. So you will hear about it, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah, because he even mentioned to me going, Scotty, I watched Ankle Biters, fucking loved it. I'm like, yes, vindicated.
Right, and then
people listening now, Scott shared that, and they can hopefully watch it. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to now because I didn't have that on. That's why I asked.
Oh, we gotta let Heather answer her question.
Yeah, it's
sleeping.
Some of my favorite films that have come out this year, I think most people know about. I guess maybe for me, the 2 films that I enjoyed the most that I'm not sure if people have checked out yet is Censor, because I feel like some people would skip over that one. I think Censor's a really, really good film.
I really liked that. I saw it. That was
and
great.
I really enjoyed the simpleness and the low budgetness and the well acting of we need to do something.
Yes.
I think that movie amplified what you can do with very little and strong actors. And actors just reacting to whatever the situation is in.
Both
but
good?
yeah, and then sorry.
Oh no, both good movies. I agree. They're both good ones.
Right. And then there's some other stuff too, but honestly, when I look at my top ones that I really enjoyed, we're looking at things like, and this is in no particular order, and I don't care if I spoil what's in my top 10 because we do awards, but I really enjoyed The Visual. I really enjoyed Slack. I think Slack is brilliant. Especially
that one?
Slack.
Yeah.
That makes
fun
fun of Roots. And watching it a second time, it definitely makes fun of fucking Roots, and that's really funny. Which is a Canadian retailer, by the way, for people who don't know.
Yeah.
An overpriced, shitty Canadian retailer that sells like hoodies, and that's it. And I really enjoyed Last Night in Soho. Last Night in Soho, man.
Still have to watch.
Fuck, what a good movie. Honestly, guys.
I watched it last night. No pun intended.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it, yeah.
I
loved it.
I thought it was great.
I'm really looking forward to it. I was holding off. Sorry for cutting you off there, Heather.
Oh no, it's definitely worth it. But as we said earlier, there's a couple that really got to me. The Censor really got to me. We Need to Do Something really got to me. There was a couple others that did, but it didn't have the same effect on me like some films I watched last year. I watched a Spanish film called The Occupant, and it was a fucking downer. I got Scott to watch it, and it was a heavy, long movie. It's probably not, people wouldn't consider it horror. It reminds me very much of the Roman Polanski movie where he's is that also called The Occupant, the one from the 70s?
The Tenant.
The Tenant. It reminded me of that flavor. Very kind of similar, not a remake or anything like that, just a similar concept. And fuck, it was heavy. And that stuck with me. It was a downer ending that really, really stuck with me. And I found a lot of stuff hasn't overly stuck with me this year. I was disappointed in Antlers. I don't know if you saw Antlers yet, Dave or Christian.
No, it's not out yet, but it's first chance. I think it's coming out in a week or two VOD. As soon as it is, I'm on it. I only have 4.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining, but I don't think you're going to be oh my God, #1 of the year. It's not bad though. It's an entertaining film. I just was expecting more. So.
Did you guys see The Deep House?
The Occupant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you like The Deep House?
I thought that was a very unique take on a haunted house, and had just a really creepy atmosphere to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I cop out with my answer, because obviously the reason you're watching it is because it takes place underwater. So to say that that's the only thing that I think you take that out, which is of course the whole reason for the movie. So I think it's a cop out. But I say if you take that out, it's very generic to me. I feel like it's no different than anything else. Instead of you have a ghost, you're on land, you have a ghost float up to you. Oh, wait a second. Then I guess it's pretty much the exact same, because the ghost floats up to you.
I think the added scare here is that you're using oxygen, you're underwater, the claustrophobia, right? And I think Meander is another movie that I think people will skip over. That is science fiction-y.
I really like that one. The one location type movie.
Yeah.
That one stood out for me. No, don't get me wrong. The Deep House, I thought was I feel like it's that 6.5, 7 range. It's it's good. I like those directors. I always seem to enjoy their movies, but I just felt like it didn't take me to the next level. But Meander I did like, and I don't know if it's next level, but I could definitely say, going by memory, not a second rewatch, was at around a 7 range. But I really dug it.
See, The Occupant, cool. I'm on the fence, because I didn't watch it. It didn't make the list because on the B, it says, what do you call it? It's got a nice rating, 6.4. A lot of people have seen Netflix of it, but it says drama thriller. So I saw that. I'm like, well, I don't know. Is this going to be something I'm going to think is a horror movie? And then I go over to Letterboxd, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people have seen it. Oh, one person. Oh my gosh, Scott didn't rate it the highest. He only gave it a 3.5. Somebody else gave it a 4. Wow.
For The Deep House?
No, The Occupant.
The Occupant.
Oh, Occupant. Yeah, I wasn't nearly as high as Heather was.
It's been on the back burner. But you guys both think it's a horror movie?
Well, here's the thing, Dave. I don't necessarily always agree with your definition of what's a horror movie and what's not, to be quite honest. I think you go back and forth too much of what you think is and what you think isn't. You'll see The Witch is, but there's a movie that you'll watch that's similar to The Witch, and you won't say that's a horror movie.
Which one?
And that's what I should probably have come more prepared with an actual movie. But you'll say like The Witch, and that's not a lot of horror happens in that. Everything happens at the end. It's just creepy vibes throughout. And I'll find you watch another movie that has creepy vibes throughout, and you'll be like, well, that's not a horror movie. So I'm not sure what makes a horror movie for you.
Oh,
like, I don't really know, to be honest.
I don't know if I have a definition. It's just I watch a movie, and if it felt like horror, it did. And it's just same thing, you know what I mean? I can only go by when I watch it, how it feels. Like I had a couple the other day, and I'll tell them about it in the message. I'll say, oh man, I watched that, but it wasn't a horror movie. Like the Beta Test was one, and then what was the other one?
I don't know why you don't think the Beta Test is a horror movie. Is it because it's too reality
feel like
based?
It at all. It just didn't seem like a horror movie to me, I guess. I don't remember.
People are shot and killed throughout it. There's gore.
Oh, people are shot and killed. Godfather too, and there's gore in Upgrade, but they're not horror movies. You know. But I don't know.
I think
it's just a feel, I guess, for me, Heather. I go watch a movie, I'm like, that doesn't feel like it. I guess that's the simplest answer I can ever give is that I watched something.
Do you think The Tenant was a horror movie that Roman Polanski did? This will be the decider whether you think The Occupant is or not. Do you think The Tenant is?
Here's the deal about The Tenant. I only saw it once, and I really can't. Because of that, I can't give a definite answer. But that seems more. I think it kind of felt more like a thriller to me. Okay. And it had that one scene. But again, it was a while, and it was only once. Here's the thing with that movie. I saw, what do you call it first? Darling, with Lauren Ashley Carter. And that was basically a remake of Tenet, but I didn't know it. And that was a horror movie to me. So then when I went to watch The Tenant, because I heard it basically is the same fucking story, I watched it, and it seemed like I was waiting for all this stuff to happen that happened in Darling, like right away. So I think that kind of hurt my view because I was doing the comparison thing, which is never good.
Yeah,
But I don't think Polanski made any real horror movie except for Rosemary's Baby. I know they call those three the Apartment Trilogy, but based on what I've seen, they don't seem it to me. They just seem like Hitchcock movies, like thrillers.
Got it. Okay. So then you're not going to find The Occupant a horror movie then? Like, that answers my question. You will not think it's a horror movie.
It's just
I think it is, but I think if you didn't think The Tenant is a horror movie, which is fair, it's just, it won't. But I still think The Occupant's a good film. So if you do have an opportunity to deviate, I think you'll enjoy the subtle deconstruction that happens in that film. It's a very subtle, slow deconstruction of people, and it could happen. Like the one thing and I find that for me with horror films, ones that really get to me is, could I see this actually happening? And if I'm like, yeah, I could, it makes me more concerned. Like it heightens my fear because I'm like, that is reality. Like we all know fucking Jason.
That's where she likes slacks.
That's
I like slacks.
You know why I like slacks? Because of the social political message. Because I
like
that shit.
Hey, I like slacks too. I think Brandon likes it, but he was making fun of me of how much I enjoyed it because it was pretty high. It's probably still ranking pretty high on my list. But there's a lot of independent movies. I've really raved about Superhost that most people just thought was very generic. Very generic and not very all that memorable or good. And I'm like, maybe it's because I was expecting nothing from it. I put it on going, I'm not that fond of the cover art per se, but I enjoyed it. I thought the main characters, they're kind of what they're going through and how annoying she was about their likes and everything about trying to get their web or their YouTube channel going. I loved that aspect of it, and I liked that feeling of that one location. I thought it was low budget, really done well. And there's like maybe a dumb move that could piss off viewers. Didn't piss me off. I just was more frustrated. But then where it went, I was like, wow, this movie didn't I thought ended kind of on a downer note, which I liked.
Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So,
I really liked
Digging
to Death, which is another great low budget film that's on Prime.
What was it? I spoke over you.
Digging to Death. Scott turned me on to that one because Scotty watches everything.
Well, and Brandon's the one that recommended it to me.
That's right. We lose track of our circle jerk of who recommends what movie to each.
This is what I wanted to talk about.
It's honestly.
We're getting close to the end, and if people want to check out some movies that they might not normally check out, you might have to search a little harder for some of these ones. But check them out because, again, Superhost was on Shudder or is on Shudder, and I'm in the minority. I think I like it better than most people do. It's got mostly kind of 3s or below out of 5. And I'm not saying it was fantastic, but I thought, you know what? I like the look at this, and I like but I feel like it was done on a minuscule budget, and the only thing that would tell me differently is the fact that maybe Barbara Crampton was in it. Not that she would command necessarily a huge salary, but I feel like that maybe is the only thing that keeps it from seeming like something that could be done like by your neighbor with a little bit of talent.
Totally.
Again.
Totally.
But in a good way,
totally.
not in a bad way. Like I thought it looked really good. So that's why I give it a little bit more of a push. But I got to watch it again because like I've heard people talk about it. I'm like, wow, I thought this was good, and they're just like, it's kind of just watch it, kind of forget about it after. Nothing really to write home about. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm talking about it now. I saw it way back when it first came out on Shudder.
Oh yeah, totally. No, I really dug it too. It reminded me a lot of The Perfect Host from 2017, which is actually another really well done much more low budget than Superhost, much lower budget. But a good example of yet again low budget done right. And Scott and I use that phrase all the time because you can make a low budget movie. It's just you have to know where your limits are and what you're going to build tension on, because you're probably not going to have the money for special effects. So you need to get people that have some decent acting chops. They need to be able to react to the situation because their reaction is going to be what ties into the viewer. If I believe this person is scared, then I'm going to believe this is, a scary situation, right? You have to try to connect it that way. The only other movie I can say that is a like dark horse and that people won't know about, but I give the caveat that you need to like Come Play from last year, because I really enjoyed Come Play, which was another movie that was filmed in Hamilton and Oshawa, because I only like also movies that are filmed in Hamilton, Ontario.
She only likes Canadian
Becky and Come Play.
You do love
I do. I can't help that they're good movies though, Dave.
No,
they're
that's
good
fair.
movies,
If they are
right?
Vicious Fun.
Right? Vicious Fun. Right? But the movie is called The Gin. And it's very low budget. I really enjoyed it. I thought the father-son dynamic in that film was really good. But you gotta like stuff like Come Play and parent and child horror, or it won't be for you. But yeah,
Come Play should have made my list higher.
I thought was really funny. Pardon? Sorry.
I said Come Play should have been higher on my list. Come Play's come up a few times in the last few episodes. Of I think Brandon had it in his top 10. I had it, I think, at like 18 or 19. I think
that's where it was for me too.
I think it even might have been off my list, and in retrospect, I said it should have been on my list. But I've watched it now a few times. It's great. Like it is. It's definitely a standout. And when I've rewatched a movie that is that, I guess, low on my list, obviously that was an error, but that happens.
Well,
because I don't do a lot of rewatches.
The portrayal of autism in that movie is very accurate. Like sometimes we portray, autism and stuff in films and it's not accurate. That little boy portraying someone who is autistic nonverbal is extremely accurate. Like that kid actor was fucking, I was like, shit, this kid has a career in acting if this is what he could pull off for nonverbal autistic. But yeah, I really enjoyed The Gin and Werewolves Within and Benny Loves You, which I know you guys have seen. I thought Benny Loves You was really funny and I liked Werewolves Within. It was my kind of comedy. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Another great example of a movie that looks really good, a great cast, some good jokes. For whatever reason, that one didn't hit home for me. I was really expecting to enjoy that one, and something just didn't tie in. I think the horror came a little too, like, they sprinkled in, and I kind of liked the revelation, but it just missed the mark for me. It was all right
for you.
It was all right, but I like it. Like again, it looked nice. It looked really, really cool. So
one of the better video game adaptations too, because
Werewolves
that's actually
Within?
based off.
It was a video game.
Based off a VR video game.
I had no clue.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to. I haven't watched it yet, but seen that new Resident Evil, just because I am a fan of those video games, and I never thought the movies were more action. Save for maybe the first one leaned on horror a little bit more, but and that's arguable. All the other ones were just like sort of action flicks with zombies, never really gory, never really like it's just kind of like even kind of messy. Like storytelling was weird. This one just looks like it's closer to the game. I don't know if it's actually good, but it looks like it's closer to the game.
I've been hearing mixed reviews on it from like different people. Like if you're a hardcore fanboy, it sounds like you're gonna hate it. If you're one that is just kind of a fan and knows some stuff, you're gonna love it. That's how I've been hearing, basically.
Another movie, Unearthed. Unearthed will be a movie that people will. Scotty loved this one. I think I watched it first, Scotty, and then I told you about it. And I think this is one that will easily go under the radar. It's an environmental film. It's available on. Oh God, I feel like I'm doing a Friday fucking Nightmares promo. It's available on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and what's the other one here? Microsoft. Oh, Hoopla. So it's definitely worth a rental. Dave, I think you would like it. I think you would enjoy it on Earth. I know he's going to do the IMDb
He's checking the test.
I know.
And it's got Adrienne Barbeau.
I know. That's what I just read. It was a review.
She's phenomenal too. She's very good in it as well.
Yeah.
Adrienne Barbeau here. Well, it's not bad on the B. It's not bad. 4.9. That's not bad. A couple of the headers for the reviews are odd. Unearthed, huh? Let me look at my my letterbox and get right down to it. See, how many movies have you watched?
70 of 2021, 73, I believe. And I'm
73?
hoping to get to 100 because we're not recording now until the new year.
The Medium on Shudder, excellent fucking found footage film.
I need to watch that still.
Excellent.
The Medium?
The Medium. It's a Thai film.
And we've been talking about this for months. See?
Excellent film.
He knows. How do you not know? I told you I got the screener for it 2 months ago, and then I said it's coming on Shudder.
And I made a joke
about it,
and then
B made the joke.
It was too long.
It should have been called Long instead of Medium.
It should have been long, yeah.
And I know there's one that Dave Z watched that I gotta recommend too. The Maid.
Oh, The Maid, yeah.
There you go.
That one I definitely recommend because that one Brandon recommended it to me and I fucking loved it.
You're helping me get this up to 100 of The Maid.
Oh, we had more we could honestly suggest, but
that's okay.
I'm doing this is my list for Dave, okay? It's like I'm a little gold miner and I'm trying to be like, what will fit the great Dave Z's approval? How do I do this? Dave.
You know what Brandon's going to say.
Nobody listens to me. I ain't shit.
We all listen to you.
Brandon, who's making sleeps, because I'm going to use that on the show moving forward.
Brandon, you're not allowed. I'm going to bleep that out every time you say. Brandon's going to say it took two of you to make up for him. You know that's his.
Yeah, and he says I'm a shitty podcaster all the time. He's like, I don't even know why Scott worked. Like, he says really mean shit to me. Talks about banging my mom too, by the way. Like, he is. She's not bad looking. She's in her 70s. And he'll be like, yeah, your mom, I was banging her last night. And like, what else will he say? Like, my mom's a generous lover.
Yeah, that's a generous lover.
And she's an animal and stuff. Oh, yeah. And then one time I said, I'm going to
fucking banging his pillow. That's what he's banging.
He's like, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's brutal. He loves Scott, not me. Him and Scott.
He loves you both, man. He's going to be on your show. Now, hold on. Here's a question. You guys are going to have, because you announced it on the show I just listened to, that he's going to be on. Did you know this, C? He's going to be on their top 10 show.
Yeah, but no, we're just doing awards. He doesn't have to give his top 10.
Fucking
I
heard it.
Yeah.
It's on text. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, he's just going to do awards, and because we give our top 10 at the end quickly. And I said to Brandon, you don't need to. I know, like, you actually have paying people that pay to listen to you, so you can just... I'm giving it out for free, Brandon. You can save it.
It's not that. I'm happy he's doing it, and I wasn't saying it to. What I was thinking was this: I don't want him to do that before ours, because
before mine,
I want to listen to theirs.
Yes.
Yeah. Because when their show drops, I want to listen. I don't want to be spoiled by his shit. So that's why I was going to say we're going to have to do ours before theirs, so I don't get spoiled on the show. You know me and spoilers. I don't want to know.
I know. You don't want
to wait to listen.
I'll look up the date to see when we're supposed to do that, because I know
pick a date yet, because Brandon's too hard to pick a date for. We haven't done that yet, Scott. Stop pretending.
It's like 4 boosters this month to get out of podcasting.
So here's my number: 68. 68 movies I've watched this year. Now, my comment about this year is this: I have a lot of 8 or higher. So I'm happy about that, but I have a lot, too many 6.5 or lower. That's what's really weird about this year. It's a year like we've never had, I think. By the movies I've watched, it's very unusual. And I've said this before on the show, and I was talking the other day to Kate, and she gave a couple good examples. There's not that one movie that everyone's talking about. Like in the previous, you would hear somebody talking about like a Mandy or Possessor from last year or this or that. There's not that one indie movie that's being passed around us horror fans that everybody's like on board with.
It's because they're too busy getting angry about Malignant and Halloween Kills. That's the problem.
Yeah, but my counter to that, Dave, is that there's more movies now. I think if you
and this year than the last two.
Every year there's more because there's internationally we're getting more. You go on Netflix and you look at their international section, it fucking blows everything else away. Like their English movies aren't that great, but their international, phenomenal. I think the reality is people watch what they're comfortable with. Very few people will watch like other things. And I say that about most podcasters. Like Mark Nato, as much as we cheese him because like he watches everything, he literally does watch everything.
He does.
And right? So he can watch if there's over 600 films, of course there's going to be more to pick from now. And really theatrical releases haven't been that great. Like I know you gentlemen really enjoyed Halloween Kills. I was lukewarm on it.
Yeah.
But nothing's come out in the theaters. Even Candyman, I was like, this is good. I was entertained. But like I wasn't like, oh my God, Candyman, the bomb, right? Like so I think it's also most people don't dig. They don't. They just watch what's easy.
Yep, or watch what other podcasters suggest.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we do what we do on our show, to give like those less known movies a chance.
Which is great, and that's one of the greatest things about that show. Same thing with Horrorcast and Mark Nato when
it's
they
the only thing good about the show, right?
Like there's literally nothing else good about that show.
I feel like I have to rib you like Brandon was here, so that you feel like it's an exploding heads episode.
I feel like Brandon's here with us right now. He's in spirit.
There you go.
But if you want to find out, go to Legion Podcast Network and download Friday Nightmares. But
there you go. And support them too.
And it's free. We put out for free.
Yeah.
Get them off. Would say a generous lover.
But I'm on their
generous lovers.
But I am on their Patreon, and I'm on everybody's Patreon that offers one in the horror community. Even
I appreciate that.
Even if they're not exclusive, I don't care what it is. I'll join if I listen to the show and they have a Patreon, and it's not. And I did this long before we had ours. Anyone I knew that listened, I did it for
very long time.
Purple Stuff Show. I do it for other podcasts that we're doing. I did it for the wrestling show, the OVP. Love that show. So anyway, if I really love their stuff and I think that they should be getting some type of freaking financial something because I think the entertainment level is that high, I would, even if I don't listen to it, I give to it. There are some, because like OVP, they are so good at what they do. Well, people that think about the time they put into this and they put on a show. I'm not talking about the guys that record 5 days a week and just watch a movie and get on there and talk and say a few things and they're done. Anybody can do that. I'm talking about when I see originality, when I see effort, when I see people bringing up time and time again things that I didn't notice watching their movie or hearing pulling something out of it that I'm like, oh, wow, that's good. You're really good at what you're doing. If I think someone is better, like any idiot can do a podcast or a YouTube. But what separates some from the others not always is quality, because some people are great, but they're unheard of, and that's a shame. But I mean, even if they are unheard of, if they have a small following, but they get a Patreon, I'll get on it, man, just because I think they deserve it. I mean, I don't know, but I thought this way before we ever had one. This has nothing to do with us doing what we do. This is just how I feel. Like I was always telling Alex on Skeleton Crew, your show is so great, I love it, this and that. You guys should be doing something here. You know what I mean? And I want to contribute. Certain shows I feel that way about. Yep. So that's what I do. But you guys have it on Legion, and I would do it, and I'm going to do it regardless of what happens. I'm going to be on there because, again, that's a network on top of it.
You haven't been invited on.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave's come on Friday Nightmares.
I'm just kidding. I know he has.
I was like,
I'm only allowed on if Vince joins me.
We're going to have the three of you on for a show, which you can use as a TGIF episode, because God knows when the next one of that's going to come out. So
I love those mashup ones. I do a clip show. I'll do one that's both a bonus to this and the TGIF. Like, it's great. You can just mash them together.
This is great. I gotta look
Time
at
for
my
another
notes.
clip show.
I think you guys should do clip shows. I really do enjoy, actually. I think they're a lot of fun. And you and Vince have some funny shit that you come up with. Like, there is some funny shit that you guys say. It's great.
I just wish we had a new show. We will have a new show coming up.
I just wish you guys knew how to podcast together.
Hey, I got to do it because he's worried that I'm not going to do a color because I'm never recording a new episode. I'm sorry. We have a delay here, and I apologize because Dave and I had it earlier, even more so. So, Chris, a.k.a. Scott, another shout out because he binge listened to all the TJF 13s, and he's the one on me the most about when am I going to release another episode. He's been texting me recently, and whatever sound messages, texting. He's like, get on that new episode. I have a sneaking suspicion it won't be till next year, but that will be a 10th anniversary year, so there's a reason for it.
I better get to come back on before you guys end. I
We
feel
have 3
like
episodes left. And I promised
I don't care.
a lot
I
of
should
people.
be on each one.
See what happens?
Oh wait, we have 4. We have 4 episodes left. I apologize. 4 episodes.
All these promises now. See, you put yourself back into a corner. Tell you, buddy, it's too much.
Hey, it's been so long they probably thought I forgot, but I haven't forgotten. It's just we haven't recorded.
Okay, there's a couple of notes I have to get to before we get out of here. There's some things I have. First of all, we have a message that was sent to us on Patreon. It was posted on Patreon, and it's something that I believe he wanted read on the show. So of course he did. Of course I have to find it now. So give me a minute on that. I guess I'll go back to it. I had some see, I'm prepared as usual.
That's okay.
I heard a thing yesterday. I was in my friend's car at work, and he was training me for something. And he listened to country, and a commercial came on, and they were putting these little things from different country songs in it. Like, this is what we play on this station, and they'll play a lyric. Did you or did you not tell me that you laughed because literally a lyric to a song was, I got a barbecue stain on my white T-shirt?
Yeah.
Dude, it came up. It came up in the fucking trailer. I got all the lyrics to hear. The one I think he talks about.
How many fucking country songs are out there? And this is the one they put on every commercial for these country stations.
I noticed it was a barbecue, not a cookout stain, Scott.
Yeah, not on my grill.
Because barbecue means there is barbecue sauce.
You know what, Scott? No one wants your opinion on this anymore. People tell me I'm a bully to Scott, and I totally am, but that makes him the hero of our podcast. He is by far the popular person. He's the smoke show.
You're both
just Gary that thinks that.
Yes.
I am the pariah.
The pariah. I love it.
Okay.
Yes, Dave, that's true. That's crazy. I love it.
I gotta play this recording. This is my father. The other day, we were watching football, and we were having a conversation, okay? And as soon as he said something, I took out this thing and recorded because I knew it was going to be funny. Now, I want you to listen to this because it ties into this show. Just listen. Oh, God. I couldn't wait to play this since last week. So, Dad, after Rocky 3, why didn't you want to watch Rocky 4, Ernie?
It wasn't the same that Mickey wasn't there, Paulie was better. I lost interest in it. You know?
He didn't like I think you saw it. You didn't like the montages and all that shit. You did see the movie. I think you didn't like it when you saw it.
It was a robot. The guy saw the movie, a robot.
He did see the movie.
A guy didn't turn out to be a robot. There was...
The Russian fighter.
Ivan Drago? He wasn't a robot. There was a robot in the movie.
Right. You saw, this is what happened. He did see Rocky 4, and he didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
I remember it. I didn't know that he didn't see 5, though. He probably just fucking stopped watching it after 4, because he didn't like 4.
Just like they fucking just one of the movies he said to me. Years ago, when I first started.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck was the name of
Rambo movies?
Rambo.
First Blood?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the first one was great. The first one. Second was all right, but to be on that.
Hold on.
And they played it out.
Yeah.
And people kept on going.
Sure, they made
So
money.
who the hell am I to complain?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so it was the robot.
Happy
You thought
birthday,
that
Mom.
you thought that.
What's the fighter in there was a robot?
Could be
It would have been great. It would have fit into that movie. He was actually a robot.
That would be awesome.
Oh
I
man.
could have sworn that, what was his name, the planetary guy?
Ivan Drago. He was the Russian.
Yeah, I thought it turned out to be a robot.
No, it was a robot in the movie. Paulie got
Double
a robot
down.
from Rocky.
Oh, I remember
He was
that.
happy birthday, Molly.
Amazing. Oh
Oh
god.
my god.
Your dad's the
Oh,
best.
man.
Oh my god, your dad is so cool.
He thought he was a
That-
robot.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh,
You know, I
that's
think a lot of people thought that he was just acting.
Well, he did
That's
talk like
amazing.
one. You're right. I will fight real champion. Yeah, he did kind of talk like a robot would, right? So
Now, there sounded like there were three voices there, Dave. There was your dad. Was that your brother? Was there like a... oh my god, you guys sound similar. That was fucking insane. I'm like, that sounds like a Dave C, but it's not a Dave C.
It's a
Who?
Mike.
Who is that?
Mike and Dad, the regular Sunday afternoon trio. Yep.
Watching the
God.
Bills, right?
Watching the Bills. Watching whatever ball is on. Yeah.
The Bills are probably not gonna go all the way this year, but that's okay.
I thought they were. I
With Stephanie
predicted
K?
10-7. I predicted 10-7, and I'm sticking with it. See, I'm not like all the other Bills fans. I'm more of a realist. Plus, I've lived in Buffalo, and it's like an abusive relationship, and people get excited every year. They're going to change. This is going to be the year. And
like the
at the
Leafs.
end of the day,
Oh yeah, it's like Leaf fans. This year will be different. They're gonna win the cup.
See, you all just need to get on board and be like us that and support the Detroit Lions. And go, yeah, we know we have a shitty team. We ain't going
you guys
nowhere.
have an NFL team?
Right.
Yeah, right.
but at least Detroit and Toronto have had success somewhere. Detroit had the fucking Red Wings dynasty. They were amazing.
That is true.
They had the Pistons dynasty, kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe not dynasty. They were a hell of a team for a while there. Toronto, you guys have had champions. Buffalo has
We
had
won the 2019 NBA championship, right, Christian? Fuck
See?
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never see one again, but we won in 2019.
But the Maple Leafs have had one Stanley Cups. There's been fucking.
Yeah.
There's
Not in my lifetime, but yeah, absolutely.
But you've had
not in Christian's lifetime.
But
That's a long
Buffalo,
time.
There's nothing. There's nothing in Buffalo. It's always been a fucking cursed town. It is what it is. It sucks, but so be it. What are you gonna do? You know.
The best thing in Buffalo is Dave C. and Paul Stevenson.
Yeah. Well, I just saw Paul last week actually.
Oh,
How
really?
is Paul?
Paul's good. Yeah.
Paul's
Yeah.
awesome.
Paul's
He's
doing
supposed to be
just
one of
fine.
the people on the show.
I
That,
mentioned it to
TJF.
him. Yeah. I think he will. I think he will. Okay, so here's what I gotta
forgot.
read.
Like I haven't forgotten. I said I haven't forgotten. We just haven't gotten to it. So there's
Yeah,
another voicemail.
Not a voicemail. It's something that for real, our buddy posted on the Patreon. So I'm gonna read it. Okay. Yep. Okay, this
That's
is
his
him.
name.
For real. I love it.
What if for real, Jonathan and Dee's nut were actually the same person this whole time? Sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan twist if you ask me. Well, fellas, I'll tell you like this. I'm more like Halloween 3. I'm different from the others. Also, I got to say this, guys. I've been late on watching some horror films lately because I've been so busy at work and dealing with some life decisions. But during my free time, I was able to watch a couple of movies after listening to your past reviews. And thanks to you guys, I got 4 new favorites. Pontypool, The Pact, Train to Busan, and oh, wow, Benny Loves You.
Oh, wow.
He wrote
Cuddle
it. Cuddle, Benny. Yeah.
He does
God,
voices,
that movie
guys.
is fucking crazy, but I love you. See, I do them. Anyway, guys, I know this email is too damn long. Go right ahead and edit this shit out, Christian, and you don't have Macho
Stayed in.
Man Day. Oh yeah, glad to hear your pops is doing okay, man. Just ready to, except he thinks that robots are fucking.
I love it.
Just make sure he got that bedbug spray ready to go. And Brandon, man, I shed a tear when I heard that new Ghostbusters Afterlife movie. Let me tell you. I'm joking. 6 years and still going strong. Keep it up, fellas. Peace, y'all, and stay blessed. For real. Yeah.
That's kind. What a nice email.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah.
Is he
You
for
get a
real?
lot of
emails?
love, though.
You guys get
No
guys get a lot
no
of
one
love.
likes us.
Yo,
we
shut
get
it.
tons of love.
You get a lot of love.
We have fans. We're happy doing it, but we really do treat it like a hobby. You know, Scott and I aren't as passionate as some other people are. Like, we don't give a fuck if people use our name. There could be 18 billion people using Friday Nightmares. My only hope is that they're more popular than us, and someone accidentally finds us while looking for them, and they listen to our show. But we really do have a good time, and we're blessed. We're at 47 episodes. This will be our 47th that we record later on today, and that's kind of cool.
And I thought you guys
Same amount as TGIF, actually, and we've been doing it for 2 years.
Oh, shots fired.
I don't take that as an insult.
You know what?
They're going to change your name to Nightmare on Friday Street.
Nightmare on Friday Street. But no, I think we've had a good time, and we get a lot of really good feedback, and Scott and I have a lot of fun. So it's all that matters, right?
Fuck yeah, of course.
I was gonna say, I knew, like, that's when I knew I hit it big, when Darren Wilson started doing photoshops of me.
It's true. It's true. You get a lot of photoshops. Like, I don't know, what's your favorite one, Scotty? Offhand.
Probably the one where he made me the sexy saxophone man from Lost Boys.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Or the one in the Playboy with all the
with all the Playboy bunnies.
That's awesome.
Pretty awesome too. That was fun.
Speaking of Lost Boys, have you guys seen Night Books yet?
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Night Books. No, sorry. I've seen a lot of other night films, not Night Books.
Yep.
No,
yeah,
Night Books. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one on Netflix with Kristen Ritter, right? Yep.
Yeah.
I thought I really enjoyed that. Like, I was I did not know what to expect. I mean, it's definitely more like children's horror, but like still I thought it was really good.
Looking forward to it. It's on my list, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you'll like it, see. You'll definitely.
You should get little Christian to watch it with you.
Yep.
I thought
and then you can move up to movies like Solo and Serbian film.
Gateway horror.
Natural progression. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
daughters. Still, sorry, Scott.
I think Brandon and I both recommended Heather check it out, but I don't think she's listened to us yet.
No, Heather's been trying to finish grad school, but she fucking finished yesterday.
Yeah.
She fucking submitted her last paper, so
nice.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you. It's been
awesome.
It's been a journey.
That grade 8 certificate is coming your way.
Honestly, I've never been so proud to get my GED.
I'm mad at myself because you've just done something great, and I diminished it again. Like, I just came down on myself. I don't know if I told the story on the show, but 20 years ago, a friend of a friend, we're at a dinner party, she announced that she got her doctorate. And it's a big thing. But 20 years ago, I was slightly less mature than I am now. And I kept saying, I don't know, I guess I was really drunk. And I just kept thinking that it was funny that I thought that she got her doctorate in flatulence. And I don't know why this came up in conversation.
What?
But that was, it's not even funny. I don't even know how. Like, this is what I think about. Yeah, this is true. I was like going, oh, so you got your doctorate of what? Like flatulence? And like, just to make the people around me laugh, because that's what I like to do. And she's like, no. And I'm like, whatever. And I just kept doubling down on that really bad joke. And then only years later, I think back and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm an asshole. Like, I was just trying to get a laugh. And I'm shitting on this major event in her life. So I pretty much did it again. Not nearly to the same extent. So Heather, congratulations. And yeah.
I'm really proud of getting my GED. Finally, like the Trailer Park Boys, I'm on my fucking way.
Well, look at it.
Well, I'm happy for you. That's awesome.
Me too.
You.
No, it's awesome. Yes, of course it is. But see, don't beat yourself up, because let me look at it like this. Would you rather have a doctorate and have somebody make fun of you, or not have a doctorate and nobody make fun of you?
Truth.
I feel better.
Truth. Right? Right?
Yeah, who cares?
You recently came back up.
No.
Do you ever have that? You're like in the shower, you're just doing something like this, and then all of a sudden, like a distant memory shoots by. You're like, oh.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, and I wasn't mad. I was like, this had nothing to do with that. This was just like a memory that came back.
Oh
is Dave dead or is he frozen? He was just like this. on my screen for a second. You look like you died.
Oh.
For a split second.
Oh, Dave! That'd be the way to go. Right here, right now, doing this show. Boom. Just fucking.
Oh, that'd be very traumatic for the rest of us.
Stop hitting the record. Someone stop the recording.
No, I would totally run on that fame. I'd be like, I was there for Dave C's last moments, and we'd get a bunch of followers to Friday Nightmares. We'd have episodes just talking about it.
And I'm gonna go on record now. Right? Say, if I die on camera, I want every fucking buddy to see it. I don't want people being uptight. Although my wife probably wouldn't want people to see that. So maybe not. She's uptight about shit like that.
She can't fight with you. You're dead. So don't worry about it. We'll deal with her. We'll
maybe we'll record a couple of episodes just right thereafter where she can string you up. Like Weekend at Bernie's style.
What's that movie?
Weekend at Bernie's?
Yes! Weekend at Dave's. Weekend at Dave's.
What we'll do, what you guys should do is just put that episode behind a specific paywall on Patreon.
Could you imagine the final episode and the exciting and dramatic conclusion to the podcast?
Dave Z dies on camera episode, and then this is very morbid, and then 3 post-mortem episodes.
And
not radio.
Ghost comes back to haunt shitty 2022 choices. Exploding Heads movie, here we come.
He literally ghost dads Brandon.
We're watching a movie and all we hear is, it's not horror. It's only a 6.5. Dave?
Even his ghost stick is bigger than mine.
Get his reviews. I love it. It'd be the best, Dave.
Would be. And Frankie would be okay with it. Frankie'd be like, yeah, my father would love that. Oh, yeah. Dead on camera. He don't care. He's fucking, let it happen. You know what I mean? Why not?
Your daughter's a pretty cool chick. Like, when you've had her on a couple of times, like I love it. I love how honest she is and real she is. That's a great characteristic. She gets that from you. It's a good characteristic to have.
Yeah, too bad she doesn't like herself much either. So that's the problem. I keep telling her.
She's a young lady, that's why. Young ladies don't, but she'll get there.
I try.
Teenage years, it's tough.
Yep.
Come sit beside you during the show. Make Dave salute. It'll just be great. We'll get her to do all these weird things with your body. That sounds horrible. Wait, that came out totally wrong.
And we're going to put it on Pornhub. Yeah!
Behind a certain paywall.
That's okay. I want you guys.
Dave will be happy because we're making money. He won't care.
Of course I would. Ultimately, yes. If you guys make money, kick a little something to Frankie. Great. Wonderful. Oh, yeah. Fucking make money off my death.
Frankie's schooling's getting paid for if that's the case. Whatever she wants, for sure.
My death should bring some joy somehow to some people. I mean, it probably will anyway, but I mean, people I care about that don't actually hate me.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't have an ego. I don't have pride. I don't believe in that shit. I'm just a fucking dude. Whatever happens, happens. If I die and my body can give somebody else fucking money or pleasure or something, use it. I don't give a fuck.
So I can use Junior, is what you're saying. That's okay at that point, right?
He's donating Junior to science. It's going to be in a pickle jar in Brandon's room.
I'm an organ donor. I am an organ donor, so you got to race to get this organ.
Man, there's going to be bidding.
Could be fucked by then. Holy shit, no one's going to want that.
5 times from Sunday. I can't wait to do the Facebook post for it too. Like, see Dave die. Like, we lost a true friend of the podcasting community. See his death video here.
Yes, do it. Absolutely make money. Put it everywhere you can.
Dave, I love you so much. You're the best. Honestly.
Thanks.
Honestly.
Oh, I love you guys.
It's the best. Hopefully Dave doesn't die. For all the listeners, Dave is alive and well. Please, God, don't shut off this podcast. I'm deep concerned. Dave ain't on Facebook much, but he is alive and well. And he is, at least at the ending of this podcast, we can't guarantee what happens after that.
Anything can happen tomorrow, man.
And don't worry, we will Weekend at Bernie's him.
But if it does, you can listen to Friday Nightmares moving forward on the
Absolutely. You can still hear Brandon. You guys probably hire Brandon. You know what I mean? And
that's true. That's true. We do adopt him and bring.
Well, probably what we would do with Brandon is we'd probably just tell him show up every 2 months because you know him. He hates podcasting. So if you just tell him every 2 months.
He hates it till he's on. Because when he's on, except that Halloween Kills episode,
oh my God, Halloween Kills one.
He was killing me because we kind of, the three of us feel similarly about Halloween Kills. He hates it more than I think Scott and I do.
Yeah.
But like, he was just such an angry bear. It was so funny listening to him. Everything is horrible. The movie was horrible. I hate everything. I can't believe they're making a movie about the phone book where some ghost kid teaches karate. It's so fucking stupid. Like, he was angry.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I remember that. I was like, it kind of looked okay. Like, yeah, it's silly, but I'll give anything a chance.
I know.
But he watches everything. That's the crazy part. He talks all kinds of crap, and he's not discerning whatsoever.
I have to do it.
Me, I only give so many things my time. So it's like, I'm not going to talk shit about it. All I'll say is this is what I rated. There's very few movies that I have any type of anger about. You know what I mean? Even, and I'll be real about my rating, too. Like, if a movie's a 6.5, it just is. I'm not going to, like, watch a movie that I don't like that humor, like, you know, Psycho Gorman or something. I'm not going to say, well, it's a piece of shit, fucking 3 out of 10. Of course not. I'm going to give it my rating, like I always do. This is what I took from it, and it's not my thing. Boy, I'm so glad to be off, not online anymore, because now I don't have any fucking anger about anything. Like, it's because you don't have to hear about fucking hunky boys anymore, and this and that, and quotes from the fucking Greasy Strangler, and all those other fucking things that annoy me. Now, it was annoying me before. Now it doesn't annoy me anymore. It's out of my life completely. I just live my day in, day out life.
Look, if you don't want to hear about hunky boys, then you better not podcast with Vince, because that's all he fucking talks about, Dave. He's
that's what you should do. Friday Nightmares, hunky boys.
Hunky boys.
Hunky boys. Scott loves
you know what?
Hunky boys. He loves Psycho Gorman.
I have like already.
Sorry, Scott. Go.
Oh, that's all right. I was like, yeah, I love Psycho Gorman so much I already have 2 shirts of it.
That's fucking sweet. It's sweet.
It's going to be a Dave's bottom this year.
I wish I did. Well, it is a 6.5, and I said I have 13 6.5s and 1 6. It's as low as I've gone. So.
Ooh. Well, yeah, but I've watched some turds. That's for sure.
Yep, same here. I've
watched some greats too. That's what's so weird about this year. Man.
Yeah, I think the lowest movie I've rated this year was 1.5 stars, and that was only one movie, Human Hibachi.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I don't like that.
Human Hibachi. I forgot.
What do you with a title like that? You hear Human Centipede. I'm like, that sounds stupid.
Well,
Human Hibachi made me laugh.
Right.
But Human Centipede makes sense. It's explained. A Human Hibachi, it can only be goofy. A centipede, there's nothing goofy about that movie. Well, to me there is. I laugh through most of it. It's comedy to me. Most people don't.
I hate those movies. Human Centipede to me, like my daughter wants to see them now. I'm like, don't waste your time. I just don't like. I just feel like they're just pieces of shit. Like,
oh my God, see, you shouldn't say that.
Why?
Because
he can say what he wants.
You could say what you want, but it's like me. I don't call what's the Psycho Gorman a piece of shit because I don't like it. You know what I mean? You really think that fucking?
Oh, I don't think they're actually made. I actually never thought they were made well. You don't think they're
made well at all?
Not really. Not really. They're okay. They're okay, but they're not. I didn't. Okay. Yeah, part 2 I hated. I turned it off. Then I went back to.
I liked part 2.
Wow. Yeah, most people like part 2. It's the best made of them all. It has that. I don't know. Either way, not to get into Human Centipede, but Human Centipede has that's like a curious thing. You're like, what is that? Then you find out and you go, wow, I guess that makes sense why it's a human centipede. A Human Hibachi, all I can think about is a fucking guy walking around that's half a grill, half a fucking. What the fuck is that?
Like half a cookout?
It's definitely not.
The title kills me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I can't. That title makes me laugh. You said a Human Hibachi. I laughed again.
Watch the movie. You like that title so much. Then tell me what you think about it.
Yeah,
it was just one.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, when I watched it, I'm going, this is gonna be like probably just something silly and dumb. And this was very early in the 2021 year, so I was like just trying to watch whatever I could get my hands on at that point, just because I wanted to start my watches. And they tried being serious, and no, it was no.
Was it a really bad? It was really a Human Hibachi though, and it tried to be serious.
Well, it wasn't like half human, half hibachi. It was basically they were cannibal cooks using people and cooking them on a hibachi and all that shit.
Oh.
We
Okay,
talked
no,
about this
that's what I
feel
figured it
everyone
was.
should watch it now.
Now it makes sense. Okay, it's like a human cookout. Okay,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, hey, human cookout, yes, or a human barbecue for you Canadians.
Or human barbecue. Why not? Yeah.
The cover art looks really bad, but
it does.
But I gotta see it somehow. I don't know. Like I gotta watch it. That title.
Gotta do it.
Don't do it.
That title makes
You
me
can't
laugh.
go back now. Do it.
It's my lowest rated movie of the year out of 180. Don't even waste your time.
Hibachi.
It's
a 3
I don't think I watched anything that bad, Scott. Like I think the Great White one on Shudder was pretty bad. The shark one.
Wow,
and
really?
Dreamcatcher was pretty bad. Dreamcatcher was
Dreamcatcher is my second worst.
Oh, that was painful. That was a painful one.
I'm sorry, I don't know why.
Christian's new number one of the year.
I could never watch it because there's fucking literally there's like 20 reviews right in a row and they all say 10 out of 10, and that makes me so angry because they're bullshit.
They're definitely
that is the filmmakers and friends. Yeah.
It makes me so angry because don't be so transparent. At least put an 8 there, and then put a few fake reviews. Like when our movie comes out, if we get to,
I'm giving it a 1.
Not a 1, but just give it like an 8. Give it like an 8, and then
I'm giving it a 1, Dave.
4 movies. Okay, give it a 1.
I'm just
but say something funny. No, give it a 1.
I would.
We got to make it first. Human Hibachi 2 is in pre-production.
That's the new Woody Heads movie.
2022. No, I'm being serious. He's got it in pre-production. It's coming out in 2022. Supposedly releases January 1st, 2022. Whether that's true or not.
Oh, man.
First on Scott Crawford's list. It's fucking
Scott, you gotta watch that New Year's Day. He'll be here New Year's Day. Scott is coming up for New Year's.
Human Hibachi 2. Human Hibachi 2.
We're gonna go partying on New Year's Eve, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a commentary of Human Hibachi 2 on New Year's Day.
All hungover.
Oh man, we'll be hungover too.
It's gonna be released on Voodoo at midnight or some shit. Let's do it right now.
Oh my god, it's literally supposedly it's literally like the Human Centipede thing where it says set in the deep woods, a cannibal family obsessed with the first human hibachi video have made it their life's mission to find the only 2 individuals left from it. If successful, they vow to provide them with the most elaborate feast imaginable.
Oh, I like it. God. That's good. That's like Blair Witch 2 and Grave Encounters 2. I love when that happens. Or Human Centipede. Yeah, it's cool.
$25,000 budget estimated.
Oh man, this is our time.
Human Hibachi.
All right, just because of this show, just because I said it on this show, now I am definitely going to have to try to watch it next year just for the hell of it.
Oh, we're watching New Year's Day, Scott. What are you talking about? That's what we're doing when we wake up.
That's when Brandon watched Death Court Service 2 because of the shit review they gave him, and they loved it. And then they gave him an advanced screener or whatever, or he was able to watch Death Court Service 2, and he says, I didn't mind it. He liked it, and we never heard from the guys again.
Hey, say something
they
nice.
wanted the negative review. They wanted it.
That's funny. I wonder why. Maybe because they get... I guess so. Yeah, you're right, Dave. Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah,
it's a fun gimmick. Yeah, everybody hates this movie. It's a piece of shit. Here, watch it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna hate your movie just to give that gimmick. I'm gonna fucking hate on it so hard.
I want a box and it says it's a piece of shit. Literally, Heather Powell.
I'm gonna be like, needed more Brandon news.
There's a good
That's
chance.
all my message is gonna be.
There's a good chance it will be a piece of shit.
No, it won't be a piece of shit.
We have to make it. We got to make it. So I got to write it.
My acting.
First. I got to write it on a napkin. Let's just write a movie on a napkin and film it. I don't I'm done with this official formal writing. Yeah.
Fuck that shit. Just get people to talk. Just record something of us all getting together and have someone creep us out and just see the true horror on play as we all panic and realize we don't know what the fuck we're doing. It'll be even better.
Man, could you imagine? All Skype sessions and shit. And
no, I mean in person. You get a group of people in person, and then you just have someone fuck with us, and you just watch us all be like, I don't know what to do now. We all do the things you shouldn't do. No one calls the police.
Heather, if you actually remember correctly, we were going to do the film was supposed to be like a laptop horror where it was a show going to video. It was going to be a slasher. Then Braden's like, I can't act. I don't want to be in this thing. I'll be behind the scenes and help out any way I can, but I don't want to be on camera. Then I thought, okay, well, we'll do it with a replacement. The joke was moods.
Yeah.
Moods, as Brandon Orlick. But then we just said, well, no, if he's not going to be in it, we can't be in it. And then I thought I was just going to take the concept and do it with actual actors and just say, okay, let's do the same thing, but with actors, which I still think is a good idea. It's still kind of unique in that laptop horror sort of subgenre. But you were the one that says, why don't you just do a slasher like you always wanted to and set in the woods?
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
sounds like a good idea. So that we just, of all the ideas that we've come up with, Check Out and the many other ones and the hodgepodge, like Robot Chicken style one, like we like slashers. So why not?
Absolutely. And they're easy. The formula is the same, right? And I honestly think you should just get a group of podcasters, get them drunk and get them high, which I have no problem doing. I will supply whatever needs to be supplied. And just watch, like, have someone scare us, and guaranteed you'll get some great fucking reaction.
Oh, so true.
Right? I feel like Dave will be the most zen, and I'll like be crying in the corner, like terrified of what's ever happening.
Like if somebody tries to scare me?
Oh, like if someone tried to like come at us like in a slasher film, like if someone actually reenacted a slasher film and we had someone like fake get killed and we thought it was real, that would be genuine reactions of fear you would get. Like if we're hanging out and I think Scott gets slaughtered, I would be devastated, and like you can't fake that shit. Like that would be the movie that you guys want to make. A movie within a movie.
Yeah. See? Boom.
No one's ever done that before.
Floating head.
No one. So original.
Blown-minded. Yes.
No,
you heard it here first.
When you're doing a slasher film, you know that it's been done before. That's the whole point. And you're trying to tap into it. But again, when you actually get down to write it, maybe this is just me, it's more difficult because I'm trying to avoid just making it something everybody's seen before, yet you're still following that formula. So it's a very difficult thing because I'm like, but this has been done. But how do you make it unique? Is the characters and everything else and what has to be said. That's really all that can be. And of course the deaths. Yep. That's the way. That's the separation and not trying to fall into a trap. And hopefully that it looks professional. But anyway,
I want to ask you a question.
It's on there.
I was gonna say something in the chat the other day because I was watching a movie, and there's been several, and there are movies that are supposed to take place in the 70s or the 80s, sometimes the 90s. And the thing when they try to do an 80s or a 70s thing, that no matter how good of a job they do, and everything. The problem I have is that it doesn't look like a movie from that time period. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is this, and I know why, film. Mm-hmm. Is film still expensive, or is it cheap now because nobody uses it?
It's I don't know. I would assume it's still expensive because you still have to go through the process of buying it, loading the camera, getting that equipment, which is way more expensive. There's a lot more involved with it. Video, right or wrong, is a lot more forgiving, and ultimately you've got to light it properly. You should light video properly too, but there's a lot more involved with it. And then you've got to process and develop the film as well, color correct it and everything else. So there's a way more labor intensive and expense. So my third year film that I did, I wanted to shoot on film for whatever reason. It was a half an hour long, and I think that whole thing cost me like $7,000.
Oh
my God.
Wow.
And that was a half hour. And again, I cut corners there too.
And we're going back a long time ago.
That was 99.
You're really
that
old.
was 99.
It's like
that's in like the 1950s, right, Christian? Somewhere.
It was finished on video, but I mean, where I'm going with it, it looked like film, but it was 16 millimeter, and that would help, no question. But there's enough to mimic it. The problem is they usually go overboard with the filters, so you just know they're filters now, or they put too much grain and hair and all that shit to drive it home that this is old. And there's a way to film look at that you could probably achieve that grain and that look. It will always be a filter. More the trained eye would notice it, but it's just like you talking about how you don't notice bad acting. The general public probably won't notice, but it's just finding that balance that it doesn't look like it's over processed, over manipulated. And the problem when you have filters, I fall victim to it, is you just filter everything to fucking death, and you just kind of have to tailor that back a bit. So you could probably achieve it.
I want a movie taking place in the 80s that looks like the fucking 80s, like an 80s movie.
Yeah,
that's what I want. That would really get me. Because some come close. Yeah. But I want that feel. I want it to look that like. I wish I could film something on fucking film. I think that would be people that are.
Think the Final Girls achieve that, or Stranger Things or whatever.
No, they look like modern films to me. They look like they're made.
See, I don't want our movie takes place now. So like it's not a retro type film. So I
know.
But I thought that's the problem is like too many movies wanted to do that. I kind of got sick of it, like that retro slasher.
Mm-hmm. Like it's the 80s. Look, oh my God, it's the 80s. It's a mall. It's the 80s.
It just became like the new.
Like there's too much. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. It just became a little too much. Did I lose everybody? Oh no.
You auto-tuned a little bit, but that's okay.
You auto-tuned, but
you're okay.
The 80s called. They took you back and they brought you here.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? Oh, dude, I fucking felt it was like I had this candle. My wife got these little, those cube things that you break off and put into those candle burner type things. You know what I'm talking about? I guess I'd have to show you. They're not like regular candles. They're like these things that are square, and you light them below, and you put the wax in the top of the thing, and the wax melts, and it kind of boils that. Not boils, but it turns into liquid, and it permeates the air. It's that type of candle where you put it. It's a cube, right? So my wife got these cubes, and they come in a package, and there's 6 of them, and you break them off, and you drop them in this candle burner thing. So she got this thing a couple nights ago. And as soon as I saw what it said on the front of it, I said, I got to take this chance. This might be something that I think it's going to be. And sure enough, I took this thing. You're going to laugh at me. I don't care. I took this thing and I opened it up.
Keeping it fresh. Keeping it fresh.
And
all right, we're going to try something different tonight.
That's what we did. I put in her ass. Yeah, then I did.
What rating did she give it? Did she give it over a 6.5?
Well, yeah, because it was 7. Yes.
Oh, nice. She do it again then. Awesome.
It added to everything. So no, it was this candle, and I opened it up, the box, and I cracked the box open. I closed my eyes, and I smelled it, and it fucking was like heroin. It gave me a rush over my whole body, and for just like 2 seconds. I felt like it was the 80s again, and I was at my parents' house because my mom. No. The thing.
Okay. I thought this was where this was going.
No, my mom used to have this candle, and it was shaped like a Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And she used to always burn it in December in the fucking 80s when we were kids. So that smell always takes me back to childhood, but it's hard to attain. But I did it. And I just smelled it, closed it, and it felt so good. My body got warm from it. And I literally felt like I was in the living room in my parents' house in the fucking 80s. And I had that childhood feeling just for 2 seconds. And that, to me, is the thing I'm chasing constantly. And I got it just for a second. That is like heroin to me. That's like the best feeling I could possibly have. And it felt so good. I texted my brother right after, and I told him, and I said, and I'm not going to do this again until next week.
Smell this candle.
Because I don't want to overdo it, because the smell was so good. I don't want to get used to it. I want it to be special. But man, it's things like that that's the spice of life.
I know we're talking about a candle, but this totally sounds like cocaine, Dave. I'm not gonna lie. The whole description of it sounds like you just did some blow, but I know you're actually talking about a candle, and it's a really sweet story.
Feeling like I'm a kid again, just genuinely for 2 seconds, is the fucking greatest thing there is. It's just like that's heroin to me. There's no other feeling better that I could achieve as a human being than feeling like I'm a kid again in the 80s. There's nothing that's ever going to touch it. Yeah, I love it. So I want to make a movie that's filmed on film, that's set in the 80s, that doesn't overdo it, that feels like something where if I sit down and watch it, somebody could get that feeling, turn the lights off and have it, and watch the movie and feel like they're watching a movie, like a kid from the 80s grabbing a freaking slasher off the VHS freaking shelf and taking it home and putting it in. That's something I want to create in life. But
that was really inspirational.
I feel like that's what all of those ones did, though. But I see it like the summer of '84, all of those. That's what they were. I think they had an exact same feeling that you did and wanted to recreate it. Well, whether they were successful or not, obviously, is up to the viewer, but that was the ultimate goal, was to tap into that nostalgia.
But it looks too new. It looks like modern film. That's what I'm trying. A movie in 2015 doesn't look like a movie from 1985 because one's on film, one's on video. The lighting, the colors, the detail, everything's different now. So I want it to be as genuine as can be. If you really want to tickle that freaking nostalgia bone, that's where you do it. It has to look that way too. You can't just dress people up in the 80s and put them in 80s. And I do appreciate it. I love all that stuff. Some try too hard. But I'll tell you what, like the Fear Street trilogy, when I watched 1978, that felt perfect. They didn't try too fucking hard in it. They just had them in their clothes. Yes, they played the music and there was a novelty, but that's fine. But I mean, it wasn't like everything, even in the 90 part, 1994 and this stuff. They didn't overkill it like some do. Yeah. It happens to be this time, where the clothes and the hairstyles like it, but we don't have to walk around every other sentence saying a term that was hot in the 90s or talk about fucking a band that was hot in the 90s, where it's all just, and I love fan service, but it feels more genuine to me when just put it in that time period and let it feel like that. And they do. But I want it to look it 100% too. And it's never been done. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you, Dave. I think you make a valid point. Yeah, 100%.
They only had the money. Where's the money?
I don't know. That's why we need to start doing junior picks. It's time that you and I just spice things up a little bit. Take that candle, shove it up somewhere, and we put it on Pornhub, and we see what we can do. Like, Dave,
your new mud flap.
I know you would, right?
I used to see you wouldn't let me, but I would do anything for money.
Tell her how much money you're gonna make, and let her know that you can get her. What is she like? What's her?
And that she won't see one red cent of it.
Yeah, what can you lie to her to say that you're going to buy her, but you're not actually going to, because it's all going to go to this movie? What would be her?
I don't know what the hell she wants. Christmas decorations and shit. I don't know.
Tell her she can have the biggest fucking Christmas tree that she wants. You can even hire elves to come over and decorate it with her, if she lets you do this.
Just tell her you'll let her decorate Junior, and then you'll use that to make money.
Oh yeah, with like a little tinsel and then like a little like star on top of it.
A little mistletoe.
Wrap a little garland around.
A little mistletoe on top of it. Perfect.
Yes. Yes. Just kiss it. Just kiss it, baby. Just kiss it.
Kiss the cock.
Put a little top hat on it.
Yeah, I have those little hats too. I got the hat that Nikolai Volkov and Hillbilly Jim used to wear on my wrestling figures from the 80s. And it would fit perfectly on the head.
Perfect.
I like where you're going, Dave.
You know that he's fitted it. You know he's tried this already.
I respect it.
He's tried it already.
Good for you. Be a good idea. It's a good idea.
Cock puppets for 80s wrestlers. And that gave them
cock puppets. Love it. Oh, then
you put like Hulk Hogan's like a headband on top. Hulkamania right on top of it.
Yeah, I'll get a ring. I'll buy one of those rings and I'll cut holes at the bottom and I'll put my cock and someone else is in another. Dress it up. There it is.
But you're just going to be like fucking Andre the Giant and everyone else is going to be like fucking Macho Man. It's going to be this huge height difference. It's going to be crazy.
Fun. You'd watch it though. Tell me you wouldn't watch something.
Oh, I would watch it, Dave. I'm down.
You kidding? Like, who are you talking to? Of course you'd watch it.
I'd rather watch that than fucking modern wrestling.
We talked about my wall of dick pics that I have that I sit in my chair and just circulate and stare at.
Lazy Susan.
Oh yeah, that's.
I'm like, so many cocks for me.
Awesome.
Well, Scott and I are recording this afternoon, so I have to go. I don't know what Scott.
Yeah, I gotta get cleaned up.
We gotta go.
You gotta go.
We're going before you're going.
For inviting us, though. I felt so flattered when I woke up this morning and I saw that message. I was like, me and Scott. Oh.
Well, yeah, of course. You're the first.
That was very.
You're the third people we reached out to.
You're the 10th people we messaged. No one else was awake.
I feel so loved.
We only messaged people that we were close to and that felt what we wanted. You know what I mean? That we and that knew might consider even doing it. That's the best way to come on a podcast instead of inviting yourself. Some people invite themselves. This is a special thing. It's like, hey, come on.
And we thought it might become a party show, but this was great because it was intimate. We got some good movie recommendations, and I think Brandon will be proud. He might hate this less than Halloween Kills.
Maybe.
Yeah. If he listens.
I don't know. Heather is on it, so he may hate it just about as much.
It's true. It's true.
But thank you guys for joining on short notice.
Thanks for inviting us. That's awesome.
Of course, it's always awesome. So and Merry Christmas to both of you. Christian, we may see you. Scott is coming up, so maybe we'll swing by over the holidays if you're around. If you're, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know.
I'm off from the 18th to the New Year, so I'll be around.
He's coming up on the 30th, right, Scotty? Is that still the plan? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then we eventually have to go see Dave and come to his house and
fuck yeah, we do.
Rent out some VHSs from him.
Come and hang, man.
And never return them.
And never return them.
I don't care.
Take them across the border.
Yeah. Fuck late fees.
What's mine is yours.
Thank you.
Mine is yours. I don't care, man.
Perfect. I'll take Junior. Can I just borrow an inch?
Yeah.
Just an inch. That's all I need. Is just an inch.
Like a Jenga piece. Boop. It's like a.
Take a part from the middle, then you put it on top.
My cock is all out of whack.
Office with me, WWE style.
Oh fuck yeah, I would. Fuck yeah, I would.
That can be the audience.
I'll be the ref.
Oh, I'm there.
Mine will be dressed up in a little ref outfit.
I'd have mine dressed up as Ultimate Warrior.
Just don't cut off your circulation.
Yeah.
Have him shaking everything.
Brandon's will be there too. He'll be Tattoo from Fantasy Island.
He'll be the manager on the outside. That's what he'll be doing.
He'll be the Haiti kid. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love it.
Anyway.
Love you, Brandon.
Yep. Yeah, we do love you, Brandon. Not that you're listening, but you might because these guys are on. He might to listen to.
He may listen. We love Brandon. Brandon actually has the best taste in films. I gotta say, Brandon really does know a lot about movies, so I do appreciate his knowledge.
He's okay. No, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's
And
okay.
promote your show one last time, guys, in case they didn't hear it earlier.
Promote our show.
Do it.
All right, so yeah, you can find us on Legion Podcast Network. We are under the name Kill the Cast. So just look for any episodes that say KTC presents the Friday Nightmares podcast. So yeah, we can be found on pretty much anywhere podcasts can be found. And yeah, we do also have a Legion Patreon where we are doing like a show once a month, usually doing a top 5 of some type or another with a other podcasting host. Like that usually we pick something that will fit whatever that host is specializing in. And so yeah, those are we're actually going to be doing one with Matt Wood here in a little bit from Eternal Darkness of the Not So Spotless Mind.
Nice.
That one is going to be on our main feed, and then I think next one is our Patreon one with Lance Langford from The Horror Returns.
Cool, old school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
And
you've
then
got
we're
a
having
good
the
format.
Horror for Dummies back on.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we got a good format? Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I think so yeah, we wanted to kind of just give it a break from our typical style this last month, so we can just do a bunch of watches and get our stuff ready for the end of the year because we got a lot planned coming up here.
Awesome.
Planned.
Cool.
Got those wrestling matches to get to. Scott's got to start training.
Train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins.
I got a little mini dumbbell that he's gonna be lifting. Be like, yeah.
My left ball's doing that. Anyway, everybody, thank you again, guys. Dave, you take us out. You do it the best.
I'll take us out. I guess I do it okay. All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. This was episode 163. It's been 6 years now. We missed the hell out of you. Get better. We'll see you next time. You guys, we love you all very, very much. That includes these two here.
Aww.
And
love you too.
Keep doing what you're doing. Take care of each other. Be nice to each other. Nothing but love. Peace.